I'm an episode behind on Kenobi. I am 3 seasons, 7 episodes behind on Stranger Things.
You haven't watched
I
Stranger Things at all?
No, I've gotten
Yeah.
through the third episode. It's been so hard because it's something that Soph and I have said we've wanted to watch together, and we just haven't found the time to do it
I
because it's an hour
I
long
actually just
show.
did that. I just binged the whole thing with my kids to get them caught up right before season 4 started. So all of us are watching it now.
We're hoping we're going to be able to squeeze some time this summer to really get it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I mean, I can just watch it. They go to bed, I'll watch like 3 episodes, stay up till 1 a.m. or whatever, because I'm a sadist like that. But tonight, Andrew, because you seem really excited to talk about Stranger
Now I
Things.
can't. I
No,
mean,
no, 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 no. Yes, you can.
I can talk about
okay.
Stranger Things. I mean,
No, you can
you're
talk
not
about
going to spoil anything for me.
I
Like,
am not worried about spoilers. I know that sounds goofy. I'm really, really not. I've got 4 seasons of stuff to watch. You can gush on it. Spoil whatever you want, because by the time I get to where you are, I'm not going to remember talking about it.
Yeah, and the biggest spoilers for season 4, for episode 4, are basically all over the internet anyways. Like, they're almost unavoidable.
I know the gist of kind of like what's happened and what's going on. I don't know all the intricacies of stuff. I haven't read plot synopses, but I mean, just
there's one thing that I'm going to be delicate about it, because literally I'm telling you guys right now, I even call it like as I talk about it, like this, there's a twist. There's a twist, and it's so well.
You know what? You know what else has a twist? Welcome to the All Pop No Culture podcast. I'm your host, Pete. Tonight, we've got Kevin.
Hey.
And Andrew.
What's up, everybody?
No, Andy. As you just heard, basically, we've already we're talking a little Stranger Things here, and I admitted to not having watched it yet. No surprise. I get the Breaking Bad. There's a few things there that I have that I haven't watched.
Breaking
yet,
Bad kills me. Like, I can get away.
I know.
I can understand not watching Stranger Things because it's so short. Like, there's so little. But Breaking Bad is like one of the best shows of all time. So you suck. That's right. That's right. Dude, you know what? I have not watched The Wire or The Sopranos. So I'm with you.
I haven't watched The Wire either.
So I've watched The Wire.
I need to watch The Wire. I know
have
this.
not watched The Sopranos.
Neither have I, actually.
I watched half of The Sopranos. So you know what? And as we work our way through Lost, let's keep chugging through Lost. Let's pick The Sopranos or The Wire.
Or The Wire, yeah.
As our next.
I vote for The Wire.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
The Wire's fucking phenomenal. It's amazing.
Don't say phenomenal, dude.
Phenomenal.
Because then it goes do 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 do. Phenomenal. That's always what happens in my head. That I can't help.
But yeah, Stranger Things. So Andrew, gosh, brother, rock it out. If you,
so
I mean,
I know.
Oh wait, yeah, we're a pop culture center podcast. Blah 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 blah. If it's the first time you're listening, we're just gonna bullshit about movies and TV and stuff. You can stream it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna go off on tangents. We're gonna do the thing. It's what's gonna happen. Welcome to the show, Andrew. Please continue.
All right, so
before you continue, I'm just joking. Go on.
I'm gonna calm down and relax, because I think sometimes when I get really excited about something, I can talk really fast and my brain gets scattered. And I know you're gonna say, Andrew, just relax, just talk whatever. So I'm just gonna talk whatever, so you guys don't have to say it. So season 4 of Stranger Things.
What's the show?
The Duffer Brothers. Okay, these are the guys who came up with Stranger Things. I feel like they brought their A game with this season. Season 1 was strong, obviously.
Yeah, season 1's fantastic.
Season 2 or 3, but it was very strong. The whole Demogorgon thing, all that was great. Season 2 was decent. For me, it was kind of like, it was good, but it was kind of like the Mind Flayer. Wait, it wasn't the Mind Flayer, but it was like, yeah, it was a Mind Flayer. And it was like basically a possession. It was like The Exorcist all over again, kind of, And then season 3 was a bit of a misstep. Like, I think it was good. They introduced some new characters, but it was not. It was like, okay, if season 4 isn't strong, I might leave this damn show. Okay, but
I didn't think it was. I mean, it was the weakest of the
3.
4 at this point, right? But the weakest of the 3 that we'd had at that point. But I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it didn't turn me off at all. There was some really great stuff. There was the whole Joyce um, and Hopper and Steve becoming even more of like Mom Steve.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love Steve so much.
Now, just a quick question.
And Maya Hawke was amazing.
Oh, that's Tony Hawk's. Isn't it Tony Hawk's
Tony
daughter?
Hawk? No,
No, you're talking
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan
Hawke. That's the one.
and what's her name? Oh man, she was in Kill Bill.
Uma Thurman.
Thank Thurman?
You. Yeah, it's
nice.
It's their kid.
I want to dance like Uma Thurman.
Now, has it been announced that this 2-part season here is the end?
No, there's one more after this.
There's one more.
There's one more season.
But
do you think? Let me ask you this: do you think, Andrew, like you were saying that third season seemed weak to you? Do you feel like maybe that was that transitional season where they were trying to decide whether we're going to cash grab this out and stretch it, or like you can tell they even in season 3, even though it was a slower act, you can tell they know there's an endpoint?
Yeah, I don't think it was necessarily even like a slower act. I just felt like it kind of, and again, I'm glad, Kevin, that you agree that it wasn't as strong as the first two. I just feel like it was just, they were kind of trying to figure shit out. They're experimenting, and that's okay. Like, I think at the end they landed the plane. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it was definitely not up to 1 and 2. But I think 4 is like a return to form. And actually, if anything, it's like I'm actually getting goosebumps thinking about, okay, after, like, I'm gonna jump around. So after like the end of episode 7, there's going to be 2 more episodes on July 4th, I want to say, and I think
first, I think, actually,
or the July 1st, and like and it's going to be like the last one is going to be like 2 hours and 19 minutes.
They're super long. The last 2 episodes are super
like
long.
Movies, so it's like I literally at the end of episode 7, okay, it was like my skull exploded, okay, and then there was another twist on top of that first twist, so it's like a steamroller came and smashed my skull fragments into the pavement, and then I was literally going online haunted by like what I just saw, and I'm just like, wow, like that is crazy storytelling, okay. And it makes me want to go back and rewatch seasons 1 and 2 again, because they were so long ago. Frankly, when I saw, I can talk about this. When I saw Matthew Modine show up, I was kind of like, wait, I thought he was dead, So
they actually talk about him in season 2. They reference him still being alive. So it's not as crazy as it feels. I have heard that from at least a few people, even my kids who we just streamed the whole thing. Like one of them missed it, and the other one was like, no. So yeah, they did talk about him in season 2. And
John Reiser was the guy really in season 2.
Paul Reiser.
So it's like, it's really cool to see both John Reiser and Matthew Modine show up in this.
Who's John?
Paul Reiser. Paul Reiser.
I'm sorry, Paul Reiser. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Mad About You.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, Burke. I always know him as Burke from Aliens.
Yeah.
Anyway,
look, Ripley.
Burke was such a dick. I'm glad he died. Anyway,
spoilers.
So I haven't even in Aliens. I know you're joking. All right.
I know.
So I haven't even talked about like Sadie Sink. Okay, so she plays Max.
Mm-hmm. She's great.
Everyone's talking about her on the internet, and frankly, if she does get nominated, good for her. One of the best aspects of this season, and there are many, by the way, but I'll just jump to like the first one. I cannot get that damn song "Running Up That Hill" out of my head.
Dude, that's all I've heard about. That's all I've heard about, and I don't know what the song is. Like, I haven't listened to the song. Nothing. All I've heard is that like that song. Like everybody's like, well, Stranger Things and Running Up That Hill, and now it's like the song that I can't. Like everybody cannot stop thinking about that song.
So it's a little known song.
I know. I knew it.
See, so did I. I actually heard it way back when the OC was on, because it's used in the OC, and it's used in an incredibly, like, I don't want to say famous scene in the OC,
because nothing is famous about the OC.
Well, if you're an OC fan, because it's a
there aren't those.
But
Yeah,
can I say something though? This
Yes.
scene, the scene that this was used in, I'm sorry, is like this is like
Oh no, that's
okay.
awesome.
Finish your story, but
It's
I
great.
got
Oh no,
I got to talk
I'm
about
just
this.
saying. I had heard that. I had heard that song before, so it was very interesting to me to all of a sudden people are like, "Oh, this song, running
Right.
up that hill," and I'm like, "It's an amazing fucking song." But it is interesting because it breaks a little bit from the '80s kind of, you know. Doesn't Stranger Things always? Doesn't it really have run this like '80s current through it in both the
Yes,
music and
and
the
I was going
thing?
to actually say that if anything, like because that song's from '85. So one of the things I
Is it
love,
really that
yes,
old?
yes. So what I love
Holy
about Stranger
shit!
Things is because they get it right better than anyone else. Like one of the things I wrote a post about this. I said about music matters, and when I chronologically, dude, I pay attention. Okay, so one of the things I did not like about Captain Marvel was you claim to be a movie that took place in '94, but then you put No Doubt's Just a Girl
Yep.
from '96 in your fucking movie. Took me out completely. I'm like, that's sloppy,
Oh.
sloppy. I'm like, you guys are
See, okay,
mediocre,
so
sloppy.
that's the same. Like that's like my problem with Halo. When Halo had the fucking 95 Chevy Suburbans rolling around, I was like,
Done.
no,
Done.
no,
Done.
yeah.
So Stranger Things, though, it's like even as I'm watching the show, they're playing all these 86 songs, and I'm like, you guys get it. Like these Duffer Brothers, and I actually hear they're gonna be working on Marvel soon for Ghost Rider. So anyway, I digress. Point is,
I don't know if it was Ghost Rider. I did see them attached to something. I didn't think it was Ghost Rider though, but maybe it is. But I
yeah,
did
that's what I saw.
just like this week, I saw them
Yes,
attached to something. So
yes,
if it's
maybe, but
Ghost
either
Rider, I'm
way,
in.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
and they get it, and they weren't even
Mhm.
around. Okay,
Okay, so
so anyway,
here's real quick to backpedal. Here's a very interesting thing. I was not aware that that was a Kate Bush song originally. I had the only version of that song that I had ever heard
oh, it's a remake.
is this very here, just a quick little. It's the same song. It's but this is by Placebo in like the early 2000s. Now the Kate Bush version, I just listened to a little bit of it there. That's
Oh,
sick.
it's actually okay. So basically, back in the day, Yahoo Launchcast. This is before Pandora or anything, and you do a thumbs up or the thumbs down.
Right. Oh
So
yeah.
like
Yeah.
that was the first time I heard "Running Up That Hill." So we're talking 2004 for me.
Oh.
And it was instant love. And then of course, it's the same person who did this woman's work, which of course we all know from She's Having a Baby. So it's like,
You beat me to that reference,
yeah.
bro. Tears.
So
The
yeah,
minute,
tears,
the
dude.
minute, dude, instantly. That song and that scene are so fucking perfect. When it does a little drop of blood, the only other fucking song that could ever be used in like a birth setting like that would have any sort of impact is "Lightning Crashes" by Live,
Mhm.
and that's it.
And that
Dude, this was that whole scene, and that's why it's so hard for me. Do you like now? Here's one: Maxwell or Kate Bush?
different. They're different. I literally, it's not a cop out. It's not a cop out. They are different because Maxwell's, I think, is first of all, I'm not even that big on like lyrics. Although, so I don't even really. I mean, I'm sure the song is about like childbirth and everything, but I think Maxwell adds a more kind of sensual, uh appreciation for womanhood type thing, right? Whereas Kate is more like, oh, this is just pure unadulterated emotion. So I feel like they're different lanes, and I think that Maxwell did a good job with it. But you got to give it. I mean, yeah, they're different. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm gonna be Paul Abdul about it. I'm gonna be nice about it. They're
No,
different.
I'll take. I will take that answer. I have the Kate Bush version has a very very special place in my heart because of that movie and that scene and that song. But here's a little deep dive, and when I go and Google this, here's a good one, folks. SYTYCD, Woman's Work Cancer. That song is there's a show that used to be on Fox called So You Think You Can Dance, and they took
It's
all
still on,
the
isn't it?
no
Yeah, it isn't. Oh,
no, it's been off for a bunch of years.
No, it hasn't. It's
yeah,
been
I do.
maybe two if it's been off. Like I have watched it.
Yeah, see, I love that show. Well, then the Katie and Joshua or Joshua and What's the cancer dance to that song that had Mia Michaels in tears.
Oh my God, it's absolutely
Mm.
still on. Have you heard about the Matthew Morrison
Oh, that's
debacle?
right, dude. He was a total dick, and they fired him in like a day. That's right. That was like just like this week or last week.
This week.
Yeah.
This week he has put out a message like yesterday, and he basically P, you're gonna love this. Okay, so basically homeboy, who is married by the way, texts like this contestant after hours, basically like, hey, he DMs her, give me your number so we can talk about a few things. And she just felt like that was creeptastic, and she went to the producers and they fired his ass. And he's now basically saying it was innocent, I was just trying to help her. And I'm just kind of like, dude, like, come on, man.
That dude
like,
was already the worst part of Glee, anyways.
When is this on? My daughter, okay, so she loves Glee. Like we've done an entire Glee watch through.
That whole show is cursed. Keep going.
Well, dude, do we go over that one? We've gone over that one several times.
Okay.
But this, I did not realize this was still on. When the fuck is this on? Wednesdays at 9. We gotta start. We love this show.
Yeah, it's a fun show. It's a really fun show.
Yeah, and the dance is always amazing. I love all.
I think they just like revamp the entire judging.
They may have then. It may be a whole new experience.
Because it was like Nigel Barker for a long time, and
it was Nigel
and Crazy.
Mary.
What's her name? Yeah.
Woo woo.
Yeah. Oh.
A hot tamale tray.
Out of her fucking mind. But I always like the talent on those shows. Always impresses me.
Well, it's just crazy. What's fun is when you pick up people in other movies and TV shows dancing in the background, like in musicals. Like right after that, all of a sudden, like Carrington shows up in Footloose. Twitch, of course, has done a ton of stuff and is on the Ellen Show. You'll see a lot of the dancers. Like you'll recognize somebody in the background dancing. You're like, holy shit, that was fucking Katie from season 4, kind of thing. But yeah, anyway, back to what you were saying, Andrew.
So basically, I think one of the most profound parts about this season is how I think that I could say the name Vecna. That's not a spoiler.
No, that's known from the first. Yeah.
Vecna basically is an allegory.
Oh my god, this is so funny to me. No, okay, so because I know it has so much to do with D&D.
Oh, D&D, yeah.
Okay,
yes,
so like both the Fessel Hydra and all that stuff. Like you can actually buy on this website D&D Beyond. You can buy the Stranger Things episode or the Stranger Things adventure that they were playing that he was running through. Nice. Demogorgon, it's so funny because he's actually like, in D&D parlance, he's like right now one of the Lords of the Abyss in one of the layers of hell. The Mind Flayer, as they call it, is an illithid. It's this crazy thing from the Underdark that looks like a fucking squid. Vecna. So Vecna was this lich and blah blah blah. It's got these artifact things like the eye and the hand of Vecna. There's these cursed object was this super powerful evil bin. It's just so funny to hear this stuff and hear people saying some of this stuff out loud and seeing it. And knowing there's like such this deeper D&D connection in there. And so I know I got to watch this show. God damn it.
You do. Because actually I feel like we in a way are kind of like the 4 kids, dude. It's just being real. That's corny as hell, but fuck it. I just said it. So anyway, Vecna is a fantastic allegory or a fantastical allegory for depression. Because literally it's like what he does in this show is he preys on people who have some sort of like, skeleton in their closet and they are having some sort of emotional, like, block. And it's like literally that scene when you finally see it with Sadie Sink, it's like, is she going to succumb to the depression or is she going to survive? This season and next season especially, I know it's going to get real and there's going to be some people who do not make it.
Yeah, they've already said like the back half of this season is going to fucking break people. Like they have openly said it's going to be brutal.
Yeah, and you see it. The kids are growing up, and I'm not gonna lie, I was looking forward to kind of talking about it more, but like again, Pete, you have not seen it. Kevin, you've seen. How far have you seen up to?
I'm only about 2.5 episodes into season 4. I know there's only 4 episods, but
but they're long though. That's the thing. Like they're all at least an hour long.
Yeah.
This could be something though that like can be talked about more.
Well, yeah, we'll park it. Yeah,
for sure.
All I'm saying is this,
especially Kevin, if that second half of the season is earth shattering. for
don't
fans.
Part
don't
one.
yeah, and don't worry, I am far less concerned about your feelings than Andrew is. I will spoil it for you. I don't care.
Good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying it's definitely something we should revisit. It will be
I think so.
sooner rather than later.
Like realistically, because you have until July 1st, you guys should just jump on it because you'll get through it fast. Like me and my kids watched the entire first 3 seasons in maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's only, they're only 10 episode seasons, right?
If that. I think the first one's less, and then is it 8, 10, 10, and then 8 again?
And then 7 actually. Well, season 4 is 7. But again, that last episode is like, I want to say 2 hours.
Yeah, and they start reasonably length, with like 45 to 50 minutes, somewhere in there, and then it's actually what I love about streaming is that the rules and regulations that bind so much other storytelling on network television are gone. You can speak the way people actually speak, you aren't bound to a 45-minute show because you have to deal in 15 minutes of commercials. You're not bound to all the other things. So you can tell the story the right way. So if your episode's 58 minutes and 37 seconds, it doesn't matter if, the one before it was 52 minutes and 22 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, so it's one of the, like I said, one of the best things about streaming, in my opinion, when it comes to television.
All right, couple more things. All right, 11 is still MVP. She's amazing. Will Byers actually is doing some pretty amazing stuff on the show because it's pretty much, I mean, this is a spoiler. Will's gay, dude. I mean, they haven't come out and said it, but like,
right? They heavily implied that in season 2. There's like a scene where it's like pouring down rain outside, and he's out there with Mike, and they're at the bike. Like they're at his bicycle, like they just finished. I just watched it. Like I just watched this.
Okay,
but true, like, there's a line that is just very, very, very like, you're into Elle, but I'm not into those kind of people. You know what I mean? Like, it very much has that vibe.
I do remember that. I actually think that it's kind of it's risky but really brave. I think Will in this season actually has a crush on Mike.
I think so too, and I think he did even back then. And I think it's good storytelling too, because if this story was told today, they would just be out about it. Like, because it's so accepted these days. Like a kid at middle school saying they're gay is whatever. But in the 80s, that did not happen. So if you were struggling with that, you wouldn't come out and say that,
and you wouldn't even know how. So it's kind of this weird love triangle where Mike is all about 11 and Will is like seeing 11 kind of lie to Mike because 11 doesn't want Mike to know that she's actually having a hard time at school, and Will's like, how dare you do that? Like, Mike doesn't deserve that. So that's kind of like interesting to watch. Dustin, he's MVP. Like I watched the show and I'm like, dude, you are a smart fucker. Like, you really are. And I curse for emphasis. It's like, dude, without you, Hawkins and possibly the world will all be fucked.
Yeah, him and his girlfriend. I loved the whole girlfriend shtick in season 3.
Oh, was that the girl when they sang when he had to sing to her?
Yeah, the Never Ending Story.
Never Ending Story.
That shit was hilarious. I loved that clip. Like, I'm familiar. Like I said, I've watched the first 3 episodes of the first season, so I'm familiar with most of the base characters, the core beginning characters. I know who 11 is. I also played a Stranger Things game on my iPhone, so I know who a lot of these characters are.
Good.
You play a Stranger Things game? What game?
It was a match 3 game.
I don't know what that means.
That's like it's like a Candy Crush style game.
I don't know
match things.
I'm a man. I don't.
And then it
play
takes a
Candy Crush. Jesus Christ.
So then what I'll also say then is, Hopper, like I would not want his life. That's all I gotta say about Russia.
Well, he just wants to go back to Russia and fucking,
Well, I love that.
hang with
just
the sparrows.
Like the storytelling bit of it, that he ended up in Russia, and then he was also Red Guardian and Black Widow. Like, it's this funny timing thing for him, where all of a sudden he's Russian, right? Like, he's like living the Russian life.
Steve sorry, Steve, you hate in the first season. I hated him.
I was not a fan. I was not a fan.
And it's like, it's crazy how I think the show shows how people can grow. And how have I not mentioned Eddie Munson? Okay, so Eddie Munson is a new character. He's a dungeon master. He's a total metalhead, and he
Oh
shows
yeah,
up
yeah, yeah.
before, and he's already like the shit. Like, I'm so glad he's there. So anyway, I think we can move on from Stranger Things now. But I'm just telling you guys, if you haven't watched it, fucking watch it. You
You know,
know,
I actually read
yeah.
about him. He isn't a metalhead, the actor, at
No,
all.
yeah, no,
So
yeah,
like to do this part, he listened to a ton of heavy metal to like
yes.
get into character for the part.
Yes, and it's so convincing. He actually reminds
Yeah.
me of people that I knew in the 80s.
Yeah, he's dope. I like him a lot.
So when you guys watch the show, we can talk about this the twist, because it's like, I honestly didn't see it coming. And I mean, and I think it's arguably you could see the first twist, but the second one was like, it was right there in front of you. And how did you miss it? But of course you missed it, because who does that? And it's just like, what the fuck?
I'm really curious because I know the spoilers are out there and I haven't been reading them.
Good for you.
But I'm usually good.
You can
at
ask, and I'll even
figuring
tell
out.
you.
No, I don't. I want to wait till I get into at least
Okay.
finish episode 3. But it you know, like I said, I'm usually good at figuring out story twists or being you know, less surprised by
Keep
things.
talking. I'm still here.
Nobody cares.
Keep
No,
no,
nobody,
keep. I'm just saying. My Apple Watch told me I have to stand up, and I am a slave to it. So
all right. Yeah. Let me know if it tells you to take a dump.
I'll
But like I'm really curious to see like how shocked I am. Because the couple of screenshots that I've seen from it, screen caps from it, have me thinking like one way, and I just want to see like if I've, you know, uh, what's going on there. But I'm really hoping, because as I've gotten older, I've gotten really good at just avoiding spoilers as much as I can, because I want to see the stories in the context of the way they were supposed to be told. Like, spoilers suck.
Yeah.
Like my favorite video game is The Last of Us. I think it's one of the best video games ever made, period. And they made the sequel, and well, the sequel
what's it
was
called?
so exactly the sequel was so hyped that everybody was watching it and everybody was following it. And there was a leak. Somebody got the shit from the Naughty Dog servers and leaked a bunch of information and a bunch of pictures and shit.
that sucks.
I was avoiding it. Like I knew it was there and I was avoiding it. And then some asshole like replied to one of my messages with what happened, and I didn't realize that was happening. I was like, fuck, dude. It didn't ruin it for me, but like I feel like it was a major part of the story that was leaked, and it sucked.
Scarlet, Black Widow, and Iron Man's deaths were spoiled for me by the internet, by a comment on Facebook. That pissed me off. Yeah.
It depends on what it is. I will try and avoid some things if I want to like really keep something spoiler free, but spoilers don't ruin enough for me, if that makes any sense. Like, it's not, you know, I could see how they're important though, because I actually this week did actually just the other day I got to expose the oldest
Yourself?
to 2 movies, to children. No,
nope. No.
Illegal.
Yeah.
So one of them she had seen, or I thought she had. I had only shown her scenes. So Soph and I sat down and we watched first Tombstone.
That's a good one.
Which she absolutely loved that, which made me very, very happy, because I think that's that's probably my favorite Western of all time.
Fair.
Very, very easily. But more importantly to me, yesterday we sat down and we watched Usual Suspects.
I need to rewatch that. It's been so
that is a great movie to watch with someone for the first time.
That was so awesome to watch it because it's at the end and all of a sudden it starts clicking through and she literally out loud is going, "Wait, what?" This doesn't, and then he starts walking and the fax comes in and you're just like, and
this is your oldest, right?
Yeah, I'm not even watching the fucking movie anymore. I'm just like staring at her, just like, what phase are you? And it's just so awesome to see somebody, that hit them, because that to me is probably one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. I think the story, it's only an hour 40 minutes, and it tells a nice, compact, tight story. There's nothing wasted.
I love a brilliant story that is not too long.
Yeah.
Like I know sometimes a movie has to be 2 hours, 2.5 hours to tell the story. Like, Infinity War, Endgame, there was so much shit that had to happen. Those had to be long movies. But like I talked about last week, Identity with Ray Liotta, that had some great twists. It was a good movie, and it was 90 minutes. And we laughed back when we started doing this show about how there's a lot of really bad movies that are 90 minutes because like that's like the cutoff for a script being like acceptable to readers as a film, right? So a lot of people will write their 90 pages or their 100 pages and be like, here's a script, and that turns into a 90-minute movie. And you can almost tell, like, if you're questioning a movie and you go look at the runtime and it's like exactly 90 minutes, you're like,
nope,
it's gonna suck.
Yeah, but it's perfect, and the story is told so brilliantly. And my daughter, I mean, she gets a little film buffy with it to me. Like she's like, oh my god, that is such a beautiful scene. Like, these certain setups. She's like, look at the way this is shot. All of it. Like, she picked up on some of the little camera things that he did, and I'm just like, oh, this is so good. So she really dug that. So I was really, really happy with that, because it's a lot of the movies that you get to share with her that are good, like, or that I get to share with a kid, like from our generation, these new, what I would consider new classics. Oh, put that on the list. That's an idea. New classics. They're like things like Shawshank and Schindler's List.
Matrix.
Oh, definitely.
The first Matrix. Let's not categorize the other ones.
No, the second and the third. We can hit this tangent. The second and the third aren't that bad. I haven't watched them in a while. They were to me. I remember watching them, and the story in the third one, does go a little off the rails, and it's a little.
I think the second one went off the rails. I think the second one, they just started
visually
expanding too much.
It was a triumph. Visually,
yeah. And then there was the most recent one, which was just a dumpster fire.
I actually watched it again just to make sure I hated it.
That's a great reason to rewatch a movie. It was terrible, dude. It was so bad.
Did we ever talk about that?
Yeah,
on the show.
Back in December.
Yeah, we did.
I think we did, because I know I watched it just recently, finally, when it hit streaming here, and oh my god, it is so bad. Like, I know, like, everybody said it was bad, but I was like, it's still a Matrix movie. It can't be that bad. It's such a tough one, because like I actually dug the Morpheus dude.
Oh, the new one.
Morpheus. Yeah. I liked what they were trying to do. The weird fucking age makeup though, and all that. Like, I was just like, I'm done. And
I know someone who likes it though, so I actually feel bad for that. Like, I hope she doesn't hear me.
I hope you feel bad for her.
I feel bad for her. No.
Yeah. I'd be like, I'm sorry you don't understand cinema.
She's happy that that like Trinity like became like a 1-2, and like so maybe there's an audience for that. But I just felt like it's
It was a movie that just didn't need to be made.
No. I feel like if the other 3 Matrix movies hadn't existed, and this came out, and it was just kind of its own thing, it's not that bad a sci-fi film. But
I don't see any redeeming qualities in it almost at all, other than the
it was pretty,
the visuals. Yeah.
I mean, it was very, very, very pretty.
But Lana, the fight scenes were whack. Like, they were. That was like, come on, guys! Like, like okay, so first of all, like Top Gun Maverick, like that, they leaned into what made, like, it was like, let's remember what the first one did and just amp it up. That's what they did. But the Matrix fucking Rebel, whatever the fellow was called, Resurrections, was like, it was the Matrix in name only. Like that was it, man. All right,
That's a segment we should have, is movies that never should have been made.
I like it.
Which reminds me, Andrew, you posted this today and I laughed so fucking hard. It's like that somehow, for some bumblefuck reason, they put Morbius back in the theaters.
Yeah.
And it made it 85 grand.
Oh my God. I know.
I was like, they probably paid more than that to put it in the theaters. Like
the electricity that was used nationwide to show that film.
I was like, Sony, why are you doing this? Like, what are you reading into that makes you think that people want to see this film?
So if I'm Kevin Feige right now, I'm going to
Sony and offering them money. Yeah,
I know. I'm going to our lawyers, going, okay, there's got to be some sort of copyright provision for when a company just shits all over a property, that the original owner can come and snatch it for a fair price, and you can force them to sell it. There's got to be something.
Property protection services, or like CPS for IP, dude. Like, you are mismanaging that fucking kid. Like,
no, the whole fucking thing. Like, the only thing they've done right, like historically, is Spider-Man, and that's questionable. Like, I didn't hate the Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans like the way some people did. I was fine with them. I enjoyed the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, except for 3. 3 was a garbage fire. That was terrible. But those suffered from the same problem that DC suffers from, is when the studio gets involved and it's people that don't understand the films and start telling you what you should do as a filmmaker. That's when shit goes sideways.
Correct.
But that's, you know what though, that again, that's all credit to the mouse, because they're smart enough to know. It's like what they did with Pixar. It's like, yeah, we're gonna adapt Pixar, and I'll tell you what, we're gonna let Lasser get his fingers wet over here, but you know what? You are still in charge of all of Pixar.
I gotta jump in here. So I just read this, and it totally makes sense. It's believable. I've known about the Feige Perlmutter beef forever. Okay, so Perlmutter's from what I can tell, he's not a nice person.
I've never heard anything good about like Perlmutter.
So basically, when things were going really bad during phase 2, we're talking 2013, 2014, Feige actually had conversations with Warner Brothers to run DC, because he was like, if I have to like work under this asshole who is literally meddling with my shit, then I want to go where I can be free. And thankfully, Bob Iger, that's how I first learned about Bob Iger, actually. Bob Iger is like, okay, well, since I own Marvel now, you report directly to me, Kev. You don't need to talk to that fucker over there.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why, like, the Marvel Studios completely diverges from all the TV stuff, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that shit, because once that happened, Feige had free reign. So what you said, Pete, is exactly it. Iger gets out of the way, and he said Disney, basically. Iger's now gone, but like, and then Chapek fucked up because he totally released Black Widow on, I know this is like a controversial thing, but like Chapek doesn't get it like Iger did, and Chapek's now learning. He's not fucking up anymore.
Yeah.
But these studios need to understand, recognize talent and let the talent shine, but you can't just let any talent shine. Because I'm going into a rant now. Let me just keep it together. Point is, yes, Warner's, DC, Warner's, as well as Sony, they
But I mean, that's the thing that Marvel has excelled at is.
Hold on,
casting.
before you go on there, because I'm going to tag into something really quick and make a quick plug. Because of what you just said, Andrew, I'm going to bring it up again. Everyone needs to watch The Offer on Paramount Plus. It's about the making of The Godfather. It's got Miles Teller. It's got Dan Fogler. It's a great fucking show, and it keeps getting better and better. Giovanni Ribisi's in it. It's a really cool story. They put it together very well. It's worth it to go and watch it. You've already got Paramount Plus for fucking Star Trek, and fucking, you know, I'm telling you. Now, go back to what you were saying, Kevin. Sorry.
I've never heard about that show you're talking about. Just that Marvel, they absolutely excel at casting.
Yeah.
Like, they have not had a misstep. I mean, the closest that you're going to come to a misstep or something that people are going to question is Mahershala Ali playing Blade, because if you're saying that the Netflix shows and Luke Cage are canon, I can't say his name.
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali. There we go. I'm fucking gonna play my white card, I guess. But he plays the villain in Luke Cage, and great. Like that show did not get enough attention for me. I loved Luke Cage. Generally speaking, I loved all of the Netflix shows. I wish that they had just flat out said these are canon. Let's work with them.
Yeah.
And then the guy that played Iron Fist died in the Defenders, and so we're gonna have a new origin story for a new
Iron Fist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to remember her
Randy
name.
Dand.
I'm trying to remember her name, but the person who stars in that whole what's her name? She was in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and she's also in
Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh also you guys know
Everything Everywhere All at Once. She's like the biggest fucking thing
I
on the planet right now.
I want to see that. I want to see that.
I am
movie
waiting
so
for that.
bad.
It comes out next week, I think.
I saw the trailer for it like 3 months ago, and the minute I watched it, it was one of those like, oh, this is one I may have to dip into theater by myself and see. Soph's a little interested. Christy's like, not my kind of thing. But I'm like, this shit looks crazy.
Well, check this out. Michelle Yeoh played both a Ravager in the Guardians movies as well as in Shang-Chi. So that's also
there's another one. The girl that played Cersei in Eternals was also in Captain Marvel. I forgot about that. She was one of the aliens. She was green or whatever in
I think you're right,
Captain
actually.
Marvel.
Yeah, she was one of the what's it called? The Kree, I think, probably, maybe.
But Skrull.
Or Skrull.
Oh, she was Kree. She was Kree. Yeah, she was Kree with she's one of the bad guys with Jude Law.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they do it, and you know, there's doppelgangers out there, so you never know.
No, it's definitely her. Like I know it.
Yeah, no.
And I mean, I'm saying because it's Gemma Chan, and she's stunning. Number one.
Yeah. She's in. She's amazing in fucking Crazy Rich Asians.
I actually need to see that.
You never seen that movie?
It's a fun movie. It's a good movie.
Is William Golding in that?
Yes.
Okay, because I actually finally saw Snake Eyes. Yes, we are totally going random on this.
No. Okay, you know what? Hey, Kevin, have you seen
I haven't watched Snake Eyes, but I have meant to, only because I know it's garbage. I know. There's not a question. It's garbage, but I
All right.
Did you see it, Pete?
So, here's one of those moments.
Why are you holding that microphone like you're about to blow it?
I know, right?
Here's one of those moments. I was adjusting it to see where. In on this show and in discussions where I'm questioning whether I go down a road, because I think it was Andy that put it in our group chat about having watched it, wasn't it?
I think so, and he loved it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go way anticlimactic, and we're gonna wait for Andy. That's gonna be the top of the thing of the show for one thing, because I have that entire G.I. Joe universe.
Stars right now.
It's on Who Gives a Fuck.
I think it was.
I have issues with that.
No, but I need to watch it.
I'll find out where it is in text.
Or maybe it was on Amazon. I mean,
it might have been on Tubi at this point. I don't know.
Jesus fucking Christ!
LOL.
No, it's on. It's on something.
Just listen to me. Let me pump one thing on this fucking show. If you're ever trying to figure out what to watch, justwatch.com. You look up the name, it tells you every streaming service, where you can pay for it, where you can get it for free. Everything. I just remembered something that I'm also started rewatching. So when it's my turn, I will go.
Well, that's really all I have to say. So Kevin, why don't you take it over?
Hold on, I'm looking up Snake Eyes. Stop it.
All right. Yeah, no.
It's on Prime and Paramount Plus and FX. Okay. Apparently they'll put it anywhere. They're like, please fucking watch this film. So I'll start with the fun stuff I'm going to. I had my job, I get paid a bonus. I have to put in my time every month so that they can see how much I'm working, and then they calculate my bonus based on how much I work. In theory, I should do that every day, like a good, responsible adult. I am a steaming human piece of shit, and I do this on the last day of every month.
Of course, fucking slacker.
So I put in 30 days worth of time on the last day of the month, like an idiot. I stay up like 4 extra hours, wake up early to finish it. I'm an idiot.
And the people at payroll fucking hate you.
No, because it's been for like 8 years. They accepted at this point. Me and the other guy that bill like, basically the second most. We've got one guy that's absolutely insane and being totally eaten alive by some customer. But me and the other guy, we both
Bill a
do
lot of
it.
hours.
So yeah, we suck.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a known thing. So we get spanked in the weenie and then we keep on going. But I don't know what's going. Okay. So anyways, I suck. And so I had to do this and I wanted to put something on that I didn't necessarily have to pay attention to. And so I put on The League. And if you have never watched The League from FX, it is fucking hilarious. So,
yes, it is.
Yeah, if
I've seen a few episodes.
Okay, number one, just start from the beginning. Like it is based on fantasy football, so like having a knowledge of football helps, but also it doesn't matter very much because now we're looking at, I think it's about 10 years old now.
Yeah.
So a lot of the player names don't matter. A lot of stuff doesn't necessarily matter.
It doesn't matter in as much as if you ever watch Sports Night, it doesn't matter if you understand sports at all to enjoy the shit out of Sports Night.
I will say Sports Night's a better show.
Well,
Sports Night is a fucking
Aaron Sorkin.
But everything about Sports Night is perfect. If you haven't watched Sports Night, go watch Sports Night.
Yeah, that's going to be one of our first director's nights. Is we're just going to talk about the work of Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah.
That dude.
I would highly recommend Sports Night to anybody. But The League, I would highly recommend that to people with a very disturbed sense of humor. It is not.
Oh no!
It is not a G-rated show.
No.
It is what I like to call like a man show. It's very similar in humor style to like It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, it's very gross out humor. It's very in your face. It's very people just talking shit to each other.
Yes, a lot of shit talking and hilarious. But they're very like man jokes, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, in some ways, it's like the precursor to Letterkenny. In some ways, with some of how they do that. I mean, Letterkenny's its own Canadian spin on that idea, but it's
Letterkenny.
Letterkenny's kind of its own. Yeah. I just mean the way Letterkenny's very, very in your face with the shit talk and what they say, and there's really a degaff about it all.
Yeah. I mean, Letterkenny has a certain like pacing and style to it too that is very unique. Which again, side tangent, I haven't watched Shoresy yet, so I need to go check that out. But yeah, the League is fucking hilarious. Like Nick Kroll, I die, dude. Like I'm not always down with Nick Kroll's comedy. He's a little over the top sometimes or whatever.
I like when Nick Kroll's in other people's shit. Like I did not like the Nick Kroll show.
I never watched that. I never watched that because I knew that I probably wouldn't like it. But I do like him on Big Mouth. And again, absolutely love him on The League. Like, he's so funny, and just really everybody is. And it's that show that like I feel like it doesn't hurt to watch. It's not necessarily great, but it is funny, and it's always funny. Like the jokes just roll through the entire episode, and then it's over. It goes super fast. So I definitely like I recommend it, and like I said, it's all because I suck. I only watched it because I'm like the worst employee that you could have, but I also work really hard. So yeah, that's what you get with that.
Word.
I'm going to check that out then from the beginning. I've watched a few episodes of it, and it's fucking hilarious. Everything I've seen, when I watched it is just spot on. It's like, for me though, it's like It's Always Sunny. Like it's another one that I've caught a couple of episodes 100%. and I've watched it, but I'm like, fuck, I got to go back and watch it. But it's like, okay, but where do I put that on the list? Of when
the advantage to The League over Always Sunny is there's less to take in. There's only I think they made it like 7 seasons, but they're short. They're like 10 episodes and they're 20 minutes long.
Yeah, so I saw that, and you chew through them, especially now that with no commercials. It's like
because it's on Hulu right now, so it's if you have the no commercials package, you just
because I mean, legit at that point on Hulu, you could chew. I mean, this is bad, but you can chew through a season in a morning.
Oh, absolutely. It goes crazy fast because you can do 3 episodes in an hour.
Yeah.
And with a 7-episode season, that's a couple hours. And like I said, with that show, the whole reason that I watched it is because I did not have to sit there and like take it in and figure out what's going. They're just dumbass jokes that are fucking hilarious. Like it's just fun.
Good background noise.
Yeah. And so on to my drama of the week is how do I
Shining
let me
Girls.
get in. Damn it. Fuck it. My chair fucked it up.
Is that Elizabeth Moss?
It is Elizabeth Moss, who is fantastic as always. She is a great actress. I really like her work. Going all the way back to Mad Men.
Peggy Olsen, baby.
Go farther back to that and watch her as Zoe Bartlett on The West Wing.
That's
the president's daughter.
That's another one that's on my list, dude. I have not watched The West Wing.
Oh, I know. God.
And so but she's great. She's great. She really is good in everything. There was a show called Top of the Lake that you could find on the streaming services. I believe it was actually a European show. I don't know if it's British or what, but it was a cool show. Like she was really good. But in this show's a trip, dude. There's like this funky sci-fi element that they don't explain for a long time. So they leave you with this mystery, this like what the fuck is going on without like explaining it. So you just kind of have to accept that this shit's happening without knowing why. They do explain it eventually or to a degree. But the gist of it is like the opening scene, there's a little girl sitting on a stoop in like New York City. I think it's actually Chicago now that I think about it. But she's sitting on like a stoop outside of her little townhome, whatever, and playing with some toys. And this man walks up and gives her a toy, and he has a conversation with her that's really kind of creepy. And he's like, oh well, it's a little Pegasus. It's a little ceramic Pegasus. And he says, this is for you, blah blah blah. And she's like, I don't know if I should take it. And as he walks away, the line that he says is, you always do. Right. And so she bends down, picks it up, and takes it inside. This girl's like 7 or 8 maybe. And then it cuts to the future, or to the like present day, which is actually seems like it's the 80s ish. And it turns out at some point in her adult life, she was assaulted. It doesn't say that she was sexually assaulted, so I don't know how, like what that was, but she almost died, but somehow she survived. And ever since then, as she just goes about the days of her lives, every now and then something in her reality just changes like that. And it's not, at least the first few times it happens, it's not like she's just looking at something and it changes. Like she wakes up and something's different. So you find out that every day she writes in a journal everything she knows about her life, because she's learned that even when that reality shifts, if she opens that journal in whatever reality she wrote that in, she can keep up with what's happening to her. So like at one point, she comes home to her apartment to find somebody else living there, and her actual apartment is 1 floor up. And then like in a major shift later, she wakes up, or she comes home to find out that she's not living with her mom. She's living with a husband that she didn't know she had, that she works with. And it's really trippy because it's not silly at all. Like, right. Like you could really cheese ball that up. At one point she's talking to a medical examiner. She's talking to a woman that's a medical examiner. And so she's sitting there, and the medical examiner is kind of looking her over to compare the injuries that she had from her attacker to somebody else that was killed by somebody she assumes is the same attacker. And so they're talking about, these things. And as she's looking this woman in the eye, it shifts, and all of a sudden she's a man. And like she freaks out because she's like, who the fuck are you? What the fuck is going on? Like it? And it's a trip. Like it is a really, really smart show. And I have a half hour left in the last episode because it dropped last night. So it was an Apple TV Plus weekly show that is now completely done. I don't know if they'll do a season 2. because I don't know where it ends. I don't know if it resolves or if they're going to try and do more. But it ends last night. So if you want to go watch it now on Apple TV Plus, all 8 episodes are out. But it's good. It's really good. She's
Nice.
the only. Oh, no, she's not the only name. The other name that I recognize is Philippa Sue, who is in Hamilton.
Yeah.
She's his
Eliza.
wife. Yeah. And I love her. She's fantastic. And speaking of things that get season 2, they are now talking about season 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Already,
because it is, because it's been so well received that they're talking about doing something, whether it's second season or not.
I can't. Whatever they're going to do with that. We're only 3 episodes in. I still haven't watched the 3rd episode, but everything everybody talks about.
There's some crazy shit in this one. I know that. I think I even know. I think I've even seen enough to know what it is, but I still want to see it before I like really think about it. But I do know that it's already the Vader and Obi-Wan face-off in episode 3, so I'm ready for that.
Yeah, it'll be good to see.
Yeah,
it'll make you think Obi-Wan should have killed Vader on Mustafar. Like, you fucked up.
Well, that's the problem. He thought he did. Like, he legit thought he did, and that's the thing. He just should have finished it. You know,
like I feel like it's just a series of mistakes, homie. Like, yeah. Anyways, can't do anything about the past. That's what I'd be thinking.
Yeah,
I should have killed your ass. Fuck.
Yeah. But he was the chosen one, so what are you gonna do?
True.
So yeah, so that, I mean, those are 2 things I watched. I really do. I started the new Ghostbusters with my kids, but I haven't got very far. Only about
that's
a half
on
hour
my list to watch.
It's good. On HBO right now. Is that where it was?
Yeah, I think it's on HBO. It's on another. I want to say it's also on Paramount.
Maybe that's where I'm watching.
I think Paramount. It makes more sense. I think that's where who owns it. I was gonna say I actually watched 2 things, but I don't want to like. I'll
bring it on.
Keep going. I'm happy. I'm experimenting with something while we're talking here. Keep going.
All right, cool. So what I got represent for the whole R&B contingent. So last week, I think it was Sunday, A&E debuted Biography, Bobby Brown. And I remember when A&E was definitely more like staid. So like when I was like in high school, when we were in high school, like A&E was more like, you know,
it was arts and entertainment.
Arts and entertainment. Yeah. They actually had like, you know, classical music, and it was just like,
and they had stand-up comedy. They had the evening at the Improv.
Yeah.
One of my favorite early stand-up comedy shows.
A&E to me was always like good public television.
Yes.
I always felt like this is like I would watch way more PBS if this was fucking PBS.
But it's like, to see like, if there's going to be a biography, it was going to be about someone like, I don't know, like Frank Sinatra, or like, you know, someone from like an yesteryear. So now it's just kind of like, oh, wow, dude, like we're getting older. So anyway, they did Janet Jackson earlier. They did Bobby Brown. There's 4 episodes, each an hour long. And the first episode was really cool because, like, even though I'm a big, obviously, New Edition fan, and I kind of knew that Bobby Brown was kind of like, he honestly founded New Edition. It's really in your face that it was his idea. The whole group was his idea, and yet ironically he was the one who was kicked out of the group. So that's crazy that like you create something and then they kick you out. You know, I thought it was interesting that one of the members, his name is Ralph Tresvant, he's the lead singer, didn't appear anywhere. Like, he didn't speak, which made me think the beef is still there. But they're still touring together because, hey, come on, it's money, right? But the other 4 did speak, and it's kind of cool to see the brotherhood. Obviously a controversial guy. I think that, you know, the media definitely has this kind of misconception that like he beat Whitney. Like, he did kind of say, like he said in the documentary, that, you know, they both went down a heavy drug path. He kicked it, she didn't. And at one point he would actually kind of like basically beat up her dealer to try to like get this guy to stop coming to the house. And I guess during one of those altercations, she kind of got in the way and was hit accidentally. That's what happened. That was it. And I believe it, honestly. And honestly, the other thing too, people can say, oh yeah, well, that's horrible. Why would you speak ill of the dead or whatever? But it's kind of like, the
Because
proof's
the
in the
memes
pudding.
are fucking fire. That's why.
Or I was just gonna say the proof's in the pudding. Like he's still alive and she's not. You know, so it's like when you go into a drug situation and then you kick it, but your partner hasn't, that completely changes the dynamic. So to the point where it's almost like they might not even like you anymore because they liked you when you were high, not when you were clean. So basically, at the end of the day, first episode is just really cool because you get to see the young Bobby Brown. You get to see clips of him as a kid and them all getting together. The second episode is about like the prime. I think people also forget that back in the day, he really was the shit. Like it was like Don't Be Cruel was actually the biggest selling album of '89. Like he was the man. And then he was definitely like Madonna, Janet, they all wanted his ass. Okay. Third episode, the beginning of the end. Like he got married to Whitney, but now he's starting to do drugs. They're starting to do drugs. Whitney like had a girlfriend, but that couldn't be done back then. Like we were talking about the whole gay thing. Gay was not cool back then. And then lots of death. Like his daughter Bobby Chris dies the same way that his wife did, as in Whitney. His son dies from fentanyl overdose. His mom dies. His dad dies. Like just a lot of death, that shouldn't happen to one dude. But his current wife, he knew back in like '89. Like his current wife actually got him out of the bathroom because at the wedding in '92 for him and Whitney, he literally was panicking, like, what am I making a mistake? And his current wife, Alicia is her name, she actually went to the door and like talked to him as like, yo, like, this is your wedding. Like, do you love her? Does she love you? Let's do this. So she's kind of, and then she became his manager and then became, his partner. So I think it's just a good human story. It's cool seeing people like Usher like actually tell Bobby like, just I want you to know that like you inspired me to be who I am today. So it was just a really cool three-dimensional look at someone that I think has had, he has his fans, I think, and certainly in the R&B crowd. But as far as anything outside of the R&B crowd, I think people think of him as like a has-been who did My Prerogative and basically married Whitney and fucked up his life. But I feel like that. I feel like the biography gives you a bit. Like Kevin's like, yeah, pretty much. But I think the biography gives you a bit more context, and I love it when a good story is told. And there's still so much more they could have said. So there's something to be said for editing shit. And I think the last thing I'll say is this. As someone who definitely grew up wanting to be rich and famous, more and more when I see all these stories, it also makes me think of that Prince adage, all that glitters ain't gold. So, be thankful that you didn't necessarily get everything that you wanted, because it might look shiny on the outside, but it looks pretty rocky and fucked up on the inside. Get yourself right first before anything else, because I think that's what happened. People aren't right within, and then they get exposed to all this shit, and all it does is amplify their faults. And that's, I think, what Bobby went through. But he's a tough guy. He's a survivor. I think at the end of the day, he has a really good heart. I met the dude. Last thing I'm going to say is when I met him, his dad was there. And I feel blessed to have met his dad. And the way he described his dad was, my dad is like American Express, never leave home without him. And that to me was like, man, you love your parents. That's awesome. So that's it. Thank you guys for like letting me talk about Bobby Brown.
No, you know what? That's all my favorite kind of music. Like from that time period. My love of New Edition. Yes. And all that with Bobby Brown and BBD and Ralph and Johnny, and I absolutely love it. I'll watch it.
Thank you.
That's a good one for me to put on my thing there.
Word up. Now I got nothing. So it's all you.
I probably won't watch it. Human beings bore me.
Sorry.
Yeah, did you actually talk about two things? You did, didn't you? Yeah, that's right. The sports thing, and then Elizabeth Moss.
The League and Shining Girls.
Well, I was gonna try and do something. I didn't know how much we had to go. I'll work on that later. I had gotten an idea, but so here's another little idea I had. So Kevin, get your timer ready.
Okay, give me a moment.
And while you're getting a timer ready, also for all those people who had to listen to me talk about Raised by Wolves, I totally left Raised by Wolves. I totally left that shit, and it got canceled. So
Yep.
ignore everything I said. Shit is whack, and it's canceled. So that's
God,
that.
it's so bad because there's part of me that still wants to watch it because the trailers for it make it look so cool.
It's a cool looking show. I mean, it's definitely a big budget. It's Ridley Scott for crying out loud. Which reminds me, when you're talking about The Usual Suspects, I'm like, I actually don't like Bryan Singer. I feel like he's kind of whack. I think that he's a one-trick pony. Even his whole production like logo is Usual Suspects. Like, come on, dude. Like you know,
Yeah,
I
he
get it.
even like I didn't hate
Bad
Superman
Hat Harry.
Returns.
Oh,
I
Neither
really?
did
didn't
I.
I didn't
I
hate
didn't like
Superman
it.
Returns, but
I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it.
well, I understood what he was doing. I just didn't understand
Yeah.
why he was doing it.
Yeah.
Like it didn't make sense. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to pick up from Superman 2." And I was like, "But
Why?
yeah, that doesn't you're going to ignore a movie
That
that was
everybody else
already
wants to
out and
ignore,
like
but it's out there.
yeah, and so like it didn't make sense. Like I think they could have done better with that because Brendan Routh actually was a fantastic Superman. One thing, because I read something today and they were asking, who's your favorite Superman and Lois? Because Superman and Lois is on the CW and is my favorite current iteration of Superman right now. There's a lot of really great stuff in there that makes Superman Superman. And so people were saying who's your favorite, and I was like, yeah, it's them. I love the one thing that Brandon Routh did and that Christopher Reeve did better than everybody else was to physically differentiate Superman from Clark Kent.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing. There was an artist there when they rebooted. They didn't reboot. They did a comic book. Shit, it's been about 20 years now, but it was called All-Star Superman. And the idea was is they were literally going to have all-star writers and all-star
Artists.
artists and writers come in and do it. And so the first one they did, like the guy, I can't remember who it was the artist. He's a big deal, but anyways, he went through the effort of really drawing Superman different than Clark Kent. Like, his face is the same, but like he hunched him over, and you do all this stuff because like the trick is in especially in the comics, when you look at Superman and you look at Henry Cavill, okay, let's use that as an example.
Yeah.
They're fucking mountains of men, right? Like, how do you make Henry Cavill not look like fucking Superman, right? Like, the dude could take a fucking, like, Henry Cavill could take a bullet, like he's so fucking big. And like, so that like that didn't really change, but they also didn't ever really show him in the Clark Kent context enough for it to matter. That was another thing about the
Snyder.
Just that whole Snyder cut. Yeah, it was all about just them as the hero. And I get it. Like, Batman is actually Batman and pretends to be Bruce Wayne. Like, that's the thing, right? And Superman's kind of that same way, but Superman really does have a life as Clark Kent. Like, he has a real life. He has a job. He's got a wife. He's got all of that stuff.
And he's got Smallville,
Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus, who are you two chatting with?
Who are you chatting with?
No, and I'm watching Kevin type and watching Andrew look away. Fucking Christ, pay attention, people. No,
well, first of all,
you think I'm the one talking? Screen. What are you talking about? Pay attention.
No, my screen is just like it's the screen's really just here more for illumination. That's all.
No, I'm just fucking around.
Although I did have my phone on earlier.
No, it was funny because
that's right. We got back. We brought that up because of Singer. So has Singer done anything else like decent? Like, because I mean, obviously, what's it called? The Queen movie, fine. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't he wasn't it also a singer who did the first X-Men movie?
Well, oh, you're
Yes.
right.
Yep. And
Okay.
those were good for the time.
For the
Yeah.
time and
They
what they
don't
were, very much so.
yeah, they don't quite stack up today.
They don't stack up, but they
But
still hold up because
Mhm.
they have their own feel
Yeah, and
to
they're
it.
important. They're important. I'm not going to take
Yeah.
anything from it. They're important. They are important.
Yeah,
They paved the way.
I feel like, and I get why they do it, and it's kind of fun but I always feel like in the X-Men with what they do, they jump way too fast into Jean and the fucking and the whole Dark Phoenix
All
thing. Like,
right. First of all, okay, it's funny you said that because that's a whole nother debate. Okay, so I think X1 is perfect. It's ranked correctly, if not slightly underrated. I think X2, this is where I get in trouble. I think X2 is completely overrated. I think X2 is like the Wolverine show. You completely sideline Cyclops, and it's like, no, dude. And then
It,
wait,
X3 is
remind me. Hold on, remind me what happened in X2.
X2 basically is like Wolverine and Stryker, and then like
Oh, that was when they go back to
yeah.
Alkali
to
Lake.
Alkali Lake.
Yeah,
That's that
it
one.
was
Okay,
basically the whole
and
like
that's the
Weapon
one
X story, right?
yeah, which actually should have been the Wolverine
Yeah.
instead of that garbage crap
Well,
that they
and
made with
that was
that
the
one
problem
with
too.
the Silver Samurai. It's
Is
like,
what made the first one so great is the same thing that made the Tom Holland Spider-Man great. Is they're like, fuck it, you don't need an origin story for these characters,
no.
right? And then you go into X2 and they're like, you know what, we should tell you about Wolverine, and you're like, wait, what?
No, which was stupid.
Like,
Again, that was that, and that's another one of those missteps. And I guess I know it's hindsight's 2020 because you look at what Marvel does, but we're ranking and looking at everything by the current MCU and the way they've done everything. But that would have been the perfect kiss off. You have X1, don't do X2 as the Weapon X thing. That should have been the second Wolverine movie. Right
Yeah.
there was the Weapon X thing. I loved that. Was my favorite thing about whatchamacallit. Was it in Days of Future Past or no, it's in one of the new X-Men movies. Where they end up at Alkali Lake
Okay, first of all,
somehow,
actually,
and you
it's
get the
the
Weapon X with the with you get Weapon X with this whole
the helmet
all
and
his
everything.
gear
Yeah.
on, the helmet and the
oh
side
that was
packs
that was
when he
Apocalypse,
escapes.
which was the horrible
Yes,
thing.
yeah, but that was the beautiful bright spot in that movie.
Correct.
Actually, you know what? I'm Apocalypse.
Oh my God, no! Please
Do
don't.
not
Don't.
tell me you think that was a good movie.
I also rewatched it and hated it worse the second time.
No, I'm not gonna say it was a good movie. I'm not even gonna say I liked it. But having watched it a second time, only because I was showing my girls all the X-Men stuff, so we were watching through it. Having had to watch it twice, um, I saw what they were trying to do. There's some really good performances. I liked what they did, but again with the Jean Grey and Oscar Isaacs was great casting. I'm glad they made Apocalypse not look like a fucking Power Rangers villain. After they released those initial screenshots, because that was ugly. The plot was horrible and convoluted, and it really did make a ton of sense. It was kind of garbage all over, but I really do feel in watching it, looking at some of the individual performances of people that they put through, and it's not as bad as I first thought it was. It's not good. It's but by no means am I saying it was a good movie. I'm not even I just don't feel like the first time I watched it, I feel like I was a little jaded towards it already. Like I knew I was going to hate it, and it was bad. I think in watching it again, it was bad, but it wasn't as bad.
Tried to recreate the magic of the Quicksilver movie from Days of Futures Past. I was just kind of like, come on, dude. Like,
that
just
was
because
hella
you
funny.
do more and bigger, it's so cheap. And it's like the only reason why Days of Future Past is so damn good because I think Matthew Vaughn actually wrote the damn movie. And basically, Singer and then this other guy who he keeps getting second chances. I'm trying to remember his name. Anyway, this other guy, he wrote the X3, which I was getting to. So X3, X-Men, you not United. Anyway, X3, the third of the trilogy. That to me is the one that people shit on a lot. And I actually defend it. I'm like, no,
I know why you defend it though,
go Pete. Why?
because it's the darkest of the three, and you
Well,
enjoyed the darkness of that one. Because otherwise, there's no other reason you should have liked that movie at all. Because it was just fucking crap.
here we go. All right. Boom. It's on. All right. So The Cure. Okay. I think that was an amazing metaphor because I think a lot of people who may deal with identity have never even had to think about that. Oh, I'm part of the mainstream. So why should there be a conflict between, say, Storm, who says, you don't need a cure. There's nothing wrong with you. And then Beast is like, well, I mean, you don't shed in the furniture. Easy for you to say, you know? And then Rogue is like, I can't even touch anybody without killing him. Okay. So it's like, what do you do? Like Barack Obama wrote about identity in his damn book. It's like, no, when you are a minority, you literally have to think about, okay, what side do I take in this shit? Do I actually join the fucking mainstream who is oppressing me? Or do I stay apart and fight them because fuck those assholes, you know? I think that was a really mature thing to do in a superhero movie. And I think that's why a lot of people just didn't get it because they don't have to even grapple with that shit. So they're like, what is this? You know, this is stupid. This is dumb. And then they're focusing in on, okay, Phoenix, I get, you know, you rush to that shit, has nothing to do with the comics. But again, Fox world is like, they don't even know, like they're before Feige showed up, the average poor visioned filmmaker is like, we can't do that on live action. It's too big. It's too fantastical. No one's going to buy it. And then fucking Feige shows up, throws his dick on the fucking table and goes, hold my beer. Thor, bitches. You know?
But
I
also think in between that though, we've also had like you've also had movies that are now completely done on digital green screen fucking CGI sound stages. So the ability to do that now would be completely different.
But I think that we've already learned that we need to get away from that whenever we can.
Thank you.
Oh yeah,
it's not about
except when hold on, except when it's done perfectly well. I will go, i.e., the final battle of Endgame.
Yeah.
You know, like when it's done perfectly. No, I think.
But okay, so
Black
Panther is arguably one of the best MCU movies, but that fight scene that was all CGI, that's bad. Like, and that movie's great, but you can make mistakes with it, even with a great budget and even with the best people behind it.
Again, though, and so I'm gonna do perfect tie-in right there because I'm gonna agree with you on that. And with Black Panther, I think that was the weakest part of Black Panther because I think that was the one part of the movie where they really tried to do too much. That was the kind of, hey, look at how big our dicks are, look what we can do, yay! Got to figure out how to get past the armor. Like I got what they were doing there. You needed a plot device. The same thing though, what you're talking about right there was what I hated about X3. What you talked about, Andrew, I actually enjoyed the metaphor. I got it. I saw it was there. I thought it was cool.
He's like totally gay. Like he's like scraping the fucking wings off him, and his dad's like, "Not you."
Oh, for sure.
It was powerful shit, and I don't think really super like.
No. I like
Singer. Like Singer's the first one to really use superhero films to tell sociological shit.
Well, because that was the X-Men.
Gay.
But that was also the X-Men.
No, it was totally the X-Men. I'm saying live action though, like live action superhero.
Oh yeah,
he was the first to really get it. But he leaned in more on the gay shit than the black shit, which is what I mean with the race shit, which I think X-Men really was more about race, not.
Oh yeah.
But
no, when it was first, gay, that was the whole thing.
Made all about gay. But keep going.
No, I think that's what the X-Men is all about, and I think people forget that. I think that was the one thing that made the. So you almost have to look at like the Days of Future Past films. The what are we going to call those now? What are those classified as?
Garbage after the first one.
No, what are they saying?
You know what I'm saying? Because they're like
but they're like the. I know what you're saying. Either way, we'll call it the first class.
Okay, so they leaned way less into that aspect of the X-Men. Yes. Whereas Bryan Singer's films from the jump off, that's right what they led into. Like that was, like those were that was the big I don't want to say the focus, but you said that metaphor, and it said this is what this is about. And if you knew the X-Men, you knew that. The problem with the third one to me was actually not the script. It was everything else around it. I thought it was filmed poorly. I thought it looked fucking stupid. I thought the character design was ridiculous. Is that the one? And maybe this movie might get a few more points if I'm thinking about the wrong one. Is this the one with Vinnie Jones as the Juggernaut?
Yes. But Kelsey Grammer was good. Okay, I'm not going to defend Vinnie Jones.
No. For the age that Beast was in that universe, as opposed to the young, Beast in the new. I thought Kelsey Grammer was great. I thought Kelsey Grammer gave that.
I think it was phenomenal.
Because also Kelsey Grammer did a very nice version of the Beast we all knew and love from the X-Men animated series, and the kind of voice, it was the same kind of thing. So that Beast was familiar. Because let's be real, even if you liked X-Men, the animated series, and you watched it, Beast is still, in terms of how the X-Men go, kind of like a second tier character. Really,
it depends on where you look at it. When in the field, yes. And a lot of times, like, he's not the guy you go to in a battle. But when you're back in the X Mansion,
oh yeah,
he is king, right? Like, he's
for sure.
Besides,
fucking around with Cerebro, and
yeah, like he's a genius. So, it just depends on which story you're telling there, or how you're using him in the story.
I just felt like the script wasn't bad. The movie itself was just so poorly put together that everything that it was trying to say got lost to me, because I kept going, the fuck out of here with this.
Really? Because the other thing I like about that movie is it's the first one to have a fucking post-credit scene. So I feel like, and the other thing about that film is it you really feel Feige's like influence on that film, because it's really now more about the team. I feel like of the 3 X-Men films, it actually gives everybody else a chance to shine, and it's not just the Wolverine show. Is Wolverine still the main character? Yes, but you still get a lot more of a teamwork thing going on there. Yeah, no, and even the theme, I think the music, the score of that one is way better than the first 2 films. And yeah, I mean, this is funny. I'm just like totally like showing my heart here. I was gonna say, it's like when I was a Marvel Studios hater, because I just was. When I first heard the theme to the Avengers theme, I felt like Silvestri kind of ripped the Phoenix theme. There are similarities, but now, of course, I mean, that Avengers theme is the shit, so I don't care anymore. But when it first played in the theater, I'm like, Marvel's so formulaic. It's like there's snarky, there's jokes, nothing's really serious. Like, I was just like, fuck you guys, Man of Steel, baby. But then, of course, you've heard me say this before, after the fight scene of Winter Soldier and Cap is shot and Winter Soldier falls, and he falls down with to the end of the line. I was just like, wow, okay, Marvel, I respect you now. You Superman just got out Supermaned. Captain America is a better hero. Action.
That's the biggest thing about DC, is they don't flesh out the characters. It's just about the spectacle, and that's actually what made.
Or they spent 2 hours doing it in Man of Steel anyway.
In the 80s, in Batman, in Keaton's Batman, like, you see all the shit that he's going through also as Bruce Wayne. Like,
yes.
Like, there's a lot of stuff there, and they stopped doing that. Like, even Pattinson's movie, which is good until like that last hour. Again, it kind of suffers from the Wonder Woman thing, where you had a lot of brilliance and then you fucked it up.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And it just, if you don't develop the characters, if you don't make them interesting, then I'd rather spend that time there.
No shit, right? Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Pete, I'd actually love to maybe at some point, like, if we're in the same place, watch X3 again, and then you can just walk me through the parts you hated. Because even the scene in Logan where he's running through, like, after he injects himself, that to me was a callback to the scene in X3 where he's running through the woods as well, trying to get to Phoenix. in the white tank top. So I just think that movie is completely misunderstood, completely underrated. But I also know I am an army of one because I just know it made the most money too. By the way,
I have to revisit it.
yeah, and no pressure, no pressure.
I should. Like I said, I knew. I
Yeah, no
watched
pressure.
all
Just go
the.
fucking educate yourself. All right.
Yeah, I watched all the first class ones, and then we watched X1 with my kids. We haven't watched 2 and 3 yet. So I'll probably hopefully be revisiting it sooner rather than later.
That's awesome. I'd love that.
But yeah, well, here's okay. So debate, if you will, subject. The best X-Men film is Logan. True or false? And go.
True.
I think the best X-Men film is Days of Future Past. I think
But what does it feel like to be wrong?
I think Logan is in a class of its own. I consider
it's a different film too. It's
an epilogue, and
it's not an X-Men film. It's a Wolverine film. So I'll give you that too. Like you're leaving everybody except Patrick Stewart out, right? Yeah. And that doesn't make it an X-Men film. You know what I mean?
Got a new segment idea we're playing with here. We're going to do it 2 ways. Maybe we'll get some feedback from people. See, we're begging for feedback. And nobody
gives us feedback. Nobody cares.
I
think we're perfect is what I assume.
Well, we are, but I haven't checked the YouTube comments recently. That one guy, I'm sorry if I scared you.
I believe that you did. He is not coming back. You addressed him by name, and now you're an asshole.
Damn it.
Sorry,
YouTube comments are supposed to be a safe space. I know.
I'm actually going to the comments right now.
I don't think there's a safe space on this show.
So I've been fooling around with pod decks recently. It's this little tool for podcasters where it's like decks of cards with questions and stuff like that. So we're gonna use one of their movie decks here, and we're gonna have a little fun little debate time. The rules of this debate are there are no rules. There will be a question asked. There will be 3 minutes with which you two can hurl insults at each other and I don't know, explain why you think this is what it is. Let's see. Yeah. So Daddy likes. All right, we will start with.
Don't ever do that again. It's not okay.
So yeah, you guys will just debate for 3 minutes. Kevin's got that timer ready.
I do. How many minutes did we say?
3.
3.
We'll give you 3. We'll play. We'll go with that. Or I can control the timer. I don't know. I just don't know where it is.
It's in the apps for what you.
Okay. Oh yeah.
I think I can share it with you as we learn together.
Because I've got heads up in there too. I thought about we could do that on the anyway.
Look at this. I just invited you to the app. I don't know what that does.
It's giving me a thing now. It's you know what? There's downloads and things. You just do the timer. I'll fuck with that later. We're wasting too much time. Go away, fucker. There we go. All right. So on the deck movie night, Kevin, I'm assuming at this point has a 3 minute timer ready to go. There we go. And sorry, closing. Stupid. All right. And the first question is, what is your favorite cult classic film? Begin.
Transformers the movie. Easy. Done.
Better Off Dead.
Well, they're both 80s films.
Yeah. Because the 80s kicked ass, that's why.
Will either of those really count as cult classics though?
I think so.
I don't think you're allowed to ask that.
I mean, I think that there is a fraternity of people who know Transformers the movie. You either know it or you don't. And if you don't, then you just look at us like we're weird. But if I say Till All Are One, there's definitely motherfuckers who know that shit. So I'd say it's a cult classic.
Oh no, I get that. I've busted out on here before, and people I'm like Ba Weep Ground, Ah Weep Ninny Bon, and people are like, "The fuck is he talking about?"
Yeah, I think Better Off Dead is I don't know if it's a cult classic necessarily, but it is for me. But I feel like it's a film that especially people today, don't know about.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And it's fucking fantastic. There's a lot of stuff about that film that's just great. I
The
mean,
French girl's
fucking
so cute.
she's yeah. He put his testicles all over me. Tentacles. And like
Classic John
there's a
Cusack.
claymation scene. Yeah. There's so many things about that movie that are like the epitome of 80s films.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, there's in that same vein, like you could take films like Ski School. You know, is the same one. Do you remember that, or do you feel
yeah, but
it's
that's
just a
cheesier.
different kind
That's cheesier. Like that is. There's a
So
certain
that you
level of
wouldn't-
heart that is missing. But it's like if you do you want to count Summer School?
Oh
Like,
wow.
Summer School is
You know
great.
what?
I love Summer School.
Okay,
And
now
that is
Summer
probably
School-
a cult classic.
Now, Summer School
But-
account. Summer School account was great. And you sold me on Better Off Dead being a cult classic.
Yeah.
I take that. I don't, because I know it's not in the major zeitgeist of films, especially like those 80s kind of John Hughes-esque Brat Pack kind of films. But it's one of those, like, if you know, you know.
Yeah, it was Savage Steve Holland who seemingly really didn't make it out of the 80s. He did a cartoon. He did Ika Cat.
Oh yeah.
Later in life, but like you watch Better Off Dead and that film's brilliant. He did something else too, and it was great, but like he didn't make that next jump to the John Hughes level and things like that. And probably because they were so ridiculous, like, I mean, a dancing cheeseburger, you're kind of like,
What I'll say in favor of that movie is that I actually feel like I tried to find it on streaming, couldn't find it. Maybe I'll look at Just Watch, but I feel embarrassed to have not seen that film, honestly. So
Better Off
that,
Dead?
yes,
Oh,
I feel like my cred is kind of sus because I haven't seen it.
it is, but you have to take the 80s into account for sure.
and that's
when you watch
time.
it.
On to our
Yeah.
next question. Kevin, get the 3-minute timer ready.
I got a bug on my glasses. Hold on.
Here's a good
Now,
one.
oh shit! I got to reset the 3 minutes.
So I
Lame.
think this is how this is going to work. Rather than a debate, we're going to have to just like constrain ourselves to these subjects for 3 minutes,
Don't constrain me, Pete.
or maybe I don't know. Maybe 2 minutes will work. We'll just go through a bunch of these. It could be fun. Well,
You said 3 minutes.
No, I'm just saying 3 minutes for right now. We'll just see how 3 minutes is playing as we do
This
it.
guy.
Good God. Want to jump back in myself?
I have to
Sit
go.
it there, well,
It's been real.
be feeling good. Want to take on outside? I set it down, huh? Mama said it my way. It's my James Brown as done by
If that
Eddie
was
Murphy.
James Brown, I thought that was Murphy Brown dying.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Ready?
Ready when you are, Your Majesty.
Name 3 very different movies that essentially have the same plot.
Whoa, that's a good.
3. I can name 2. Armageddon and Deep Impact. And Spaceballs.
Actually, okay.
The
I don't
core.
have the same plot, but I'm gonna go for it. Deep Star 6, Leviathan, and shit,
Event
there was a third.
Horizon.
The Deep.
No, it all came out around the same time, like 86 around the. Oh my god, Deep
See,
Star
I
6.
can't do it with 3, but I know
The Abyss,
that's-
the
Oh,
Abyss.
okay,
Deep
yeah,
Star 6 and Leviathan. I bet you they
Yep,
all
yep.
are very similar.
Yeah. Now, The Abyss is a masterpiece.
Okay.
Deep Star 6 was a solid horror film for the time.
I don't even know if I remember.
I don't remember Leviathan very well.
Huh. I think I don't remember seeing Deep Star 6. I remember seeing both The Abyss and Leviathan. I remember The Abyss, I mean the little, the
Yeah.
Well, that was the
water
first.
CGI
That's
stuff.
what led to Terminator 2.
Yeah.
I think that was James Cameron also The
I
Abyss,
think
wasn't
you're
it?
right.
I think he just directed that though. I think he didn't write that. I don't know. God, if only we had a way to figure
Well, I
that
feel
out.
like now, yeah, I got.
Well, we don't have 3 minutes to do that.
Yeah.
True.
But no, you're right.
Other ones.
I think what tends to happen is you get 2 movies a lot of the time.
Oh
That
yeah.
are the 3 is harder. I'm like, it's funny that you said the core when you're talking about Deep Impact and Armageddon, because
Essentially
the core
they're
is
same
nothing
fucking
like
thing.
but it's nothing like Deep Impact.
Not at all. But
But
they're
it's
essentially the
exactly
same
like
fucking
Armageddon.
thing.
Um,
Exactly.
like it's the same level of cheese. They're just like, you know what? Instead of going up, let's go down.
It's funny. Stella loves disaster movies for some reason. So, like, one of her favorite films is The Day After Tomorrow.
Okay.
I think is what it's called. It's Dennis Quaid, the whole freezing Earth, the weather thing. That's
not. Oh yeah, no, sorry. I'm thinking
is.
something else. Yeah, Day After Tomorrow. I was thinking of The Day the Earth stood still. Yeah, Day After Tomorrow is.
No, I'm not going to show her that. Isn't Keanu in that one?
Yeah,
Klaatu Barada Nikto. No way.
Just find the original, the black and white original, and show her that instead.
Yeah, that was one of those favorite movies that my dad had me. Anyway, you know what? 42 seconds. I don't even know if I'm going to get to me. I forgot my point that I was making.
No one was listening. So three is tough.
Yeah, three's really hard.
Yeah, I was actually having this conversation somewhere else though, but like very often 2 movies will come out because in reality, when people are writing films, when people are writing movies, when they're writing TV shows, there's no original ideas left. So you think you have an idea, you write it out, you put it in a box, and you fucking don't do anything about it. Within like 5 years, that movie will come out. And you'll just be like, what the shit? And it doesn't even matter. Like, it's not like you let somebody read it and they stole it. It's just somebody else came up with it.
All right, reset that timer. This next one's going to be a fun one. Which actor or actress did you have a crush on as a kid?
Oh God.
Oh, let me hit start.
So many.
I don't have to waste any time. Jennifer Connelly.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Jennifer Connelly, definitely.
Between
career opportunities on that fucking horse.
And then The Rocketeer.
Yeah.
Between those, I was like, I'm a man now. I was like, this is like this.
No. I can pinpoint that. I've always joked around and said it is what I will call my first conscious boner. Like the first boner that I ever I can remember getting. Fast Times at Ridgemont High when Phoebe Cates comes out of the pool.
See, I didn't see that first time I saw. I didn't see that until I was much older. So
I saw that. I think it was I was 12. I know it was 12. Like that was the first time I remember.
Yeah, I was 12 or 13 when Career Opportunities came out, and just I don't know, man. There was something about the black jeans and the white bodysuit, and just that, and the way that poor motherfucker just wanted that girl and had no business getting her.
Yeah,
and she's just in that store. She was a bad girl.
Well,
she was a very bad girl.
She's one of the she's one of those that, like, even if you take this is like the most horrible thing, but we're talking about actresses in Hollywood.
Go ahead.
So
I
feel like
sleaze it up, buddy.
No, I just feel like when you are talking about that when you're casting a role of someone who is supposed to be the physical attractive pinnacle for someone, Jennifer Connelly, aside from her physical body, which is amazing.
It's good if you're into that kind of thing.
Exactly. The look she had and the way she uses her blue eyes in that movie and some of the takes she has are just like, it's like you said, Kevin, you kind of became a man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude.
I also had stuff for Drew Barrymore.
Thank you.
For sure.
That was one of the ones
I love
for sure.
Drew.
I mean,
yes.
It's weird and creepy to think about now, but because we're basically the same age as Drew Barrymore, like there was a little crush in E.T. There was a little crush in, and the stuff that came after that, like just like not necessarily like the sexy crush, not like the Jennifer Connelly crush, right? But
no, I know what you mean. Yeah,
I think, as a matter of fact, I think actually, funny enough, the one in E.T. that I had the crush on when I was far too young is Erica Eleniak was the girl in the
I know, and in Deep and in when
she was on
haircut.
Baywatch when we grew up, but when she was in that, she was young, but she's older, but I was also young, and so I remember seeing that, I was like, that girl's cute. Like I know I like her.
Guys, I just try to jump in here. I like Jasmine Guy, Whitley on A Different World. I like Winona Ryder in Heathers. Keep going. I like her.
I'm going to say it when I got 2 seconds. Martha Plimpton.
Really?
Done. Okay. On to the next subject.
You're a broken
that
man.
one in at the end.
Actually, I love Martha Plimpton. She's just not a crush. Like, I love her though. I do adore her.
She was one of the first actors. I know we're kind of carrying on here. Well, it's okay.
We do what the fuck we want.
she was kind of one of those first kind of actresses, or I guess she kind of made me realize certain things about girls, like to not 100% get caught up in whether the girl was hot or as attractive conventionally
Sure.
as someone thought they were, because there is so much to personality
Is
that's
that what you
out
told
there.
yourself?
No, I just, yes, in a way. She was one of the first girls, like actors on screen in any
I get
role
it
that
now.
she
Yeah.
played, that just seemed like she was just kind of cool. She was the sassy best friend who was a pain in the ass, but she, like, had a way to save the day or had a line. She was much more in line with what I liked personality wise, as opposed to the hot leading girl. Like I always like for for lack of a way to put it, I always thought like the fat best friend was more my speed than the leading lady was, if that makes sense, in any of these movies. Like the second fit. Okay, moving on.
Wait,
Get
Helen Slater in Legend of Billie Jean. Okay, now you can move on.
Oh yeah, no,
Christian Slater and
exactly.
what?
Well, no,
Dan, although Christian Slater's in there too. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was.
Your brother. I never even realized that till just tonight. Helen Slater and Christian Slater. Hilarious. All right.
Okay, let's see.
We will be invincible.
Fair is fair. Okay, let's see. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is a good one. Ready? You got the
How many minutes? 3 still?
3 minutes. Yeah, we'll stick with 3 minutes.
All right.
What are your top 3 90s movies?
Top 3 90s movies.
The Matrix, Shawshank Redemption, and I gotta think about a third.
The Matrix just squeaks in.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think about movies that I love. They may not be the best movies. Like Shawshank is a great movie, but I actually don't rewatch Shawshank that often. But
that's a good point.
Event Horizon, I fucking watched.
Oh god, that scares the shit out of me, dude.
I fucking love that movie.
I know, but
Event Horizon fucked me up because I had no idea that was a horror film going into it.
As a matter of fact, so another Sam Neill one that I loved at the same time was In the Mouth of Madness. Fucking love that one. Do you read Sutter Kane?
No.
Fantastic. So good. It's basically a total play on Stephen King, and effectively he's a publisher, and his number one author Sutter Kane disappears, and so he goes to search for him and ends up in this fictional town that Sutter Kane created, and it's just fucked. Like it's totally fucked. Okay. It's crazy. Super cool. And a third one I have to think about.
I got my third one. Devil's Advocate. Boom.
Okay. So good. He's a very good depiction of the same. I got Empire Records, Dogma, and shit. I just had my other one. It just jumped out of my head. Oh, Trainspotting.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm also going to take Empire Records. I have watched Empire Records.
It's tough because there's
countless number of times. Like,
oh yeah, well, I got runners up to that, which is the hard part, because I've got like Can't Hardly Wait is one of my favorite 90s
I do
movies.
love that one. That one actually gets slept on. It
came out very
99.
soon after, like the age that it was, and that to me was quintessentially more my 90s experience, and like the people I hung out with.
Can't hardly wait though. That's Seth Green and Jennifer Love Hewitt and
Ethan Embry.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Or Idle Hands. Did you see Idle Hands? Was that 90s?
I want to say I don't think I ever saw it.
That movie was fucking fun. I think it's Devon Sawa.
Yeah.
A movie's fun. A lot of fun.
There's a lot of movies in there in the 90s that we could talk about. But Dogma is pissing me off because it's not available digitally anywhere, and you can't buy it's not, the DVDs aren't being printed because Harvey Weinstein, that fat molesting rapist fuck, and his little company give Kevin back the rights to Dogma, and they won't do anything with it. They're just sleeping on it. And so it's the only View Askewniverse product that you can't find. You could, don't get me wrong, there's DVDs out there, but like you can't stream it anywhere. It's unstreamable.
Oh my god, how could I forget Fight Club? Shit.
Oh yeah.
Was that 90s?
Yes. 99.
And
again, a lot of my shit. 99. All three, except for Shawshank. I could swap out Shawshank and put Fight Club in there, actually.
Yeah,
See,
Fight Club's dope.
Shawshank's easily in my top 10.
Oh, it is a great movie, but like, is it a movie that you go is like one of your? I'm going to the well to go watch. Like, how many times have you watched Shawshank compared to how many
The
times have
others.
you watched the other movies on your list?
That is a
Honestly,
very fair question.
honestly it's getting up there. I
Oh,
really
really?
enjoy Shawshank at times. There's something about that movie um that is just amazing to me. Like it comes on and I'm just transfixed. I can't turn it off.
It actually helped me with a really depressing part of my life. And I really walked away from Get Busy Living, Get Busy Dying. That really, I took that shit to heart, man. So anyway,
And
a little bit
it's
more
fun.
about my
It's
backstory.
funny. It's funny. None of us had Forrest Gump on there. If we're ready with another
You know what
3-minute
though? Like,
timer,
just as I said the timer, Forrest Gump was a great movie to watch a couple of times.
yeah,
It is a brilliant movie. It's a good movie, but there's just realistically in the day, there's movies that are more fun or better for me than Forrest Gump.
it's
It kind of got blown
also
out of proportion with the whole Bubba Gumps and all that.
it isn't. And having watched it recently, with the kids, it's actually now because it anchors itself at a fixed moment in time. It doesn't it doesn't stand up as well because you have to understand references that are now 40 years out of date,
I see.
50
I
years out of
always find
date
that
in some
interesting.
cases.
I feel like movies that are period pieces tend to age better than movies that are not.
Right.
Even though they're about
I
something in the
agree.
past, like whenever they get made, there's a certain level of detail that goes into a movie that is a period
Right.
piece that seems to age better than something that was just made in a time.
I can
So I
buy
know we're
that.
way past it, but I actually forgot about Starship Troopers. Man, I just went to the internet
Oh,
to like look through, and I love Starship Troopers. Love
that
it.
movie was great, even though it had absolutely nothing to do with the book. Almost, like
Yeah.
it was a really cool movie, and the allegory was
Yes.
slapping you with its cock all over the place. Like you couldn't miss it. But you got to see Dina Meyer with her top off.
Oh yeah.
Worth it for me because I fell in love with her when
Gratuitous,
she was
by
on
the way.
90210.
Oh, I didn't realize she was on that too. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she was the wife of the dean when Brandon was involved in student government at California University.
Oh, I was out. Like I didn't follow them to college. But I know
Oh,
Kelly Kapowski shows up at that point, right?
yeah.
They were
Oh, as
totally
Valerie.
I
Valerie was.
I feel like the last season that I watched is the one wherever the dude shot himself with the gun on accident.
That's like the first season.
didn't Dylan get blown up in
No,
a car or some shit or his
No,
dad?
it's not the first season. Actually, that's it's like the second
it's
or
later
third
on.
season. And
Yeah.
yes, Dylan almost got blown up in his car. His car did get blown. There's all sorts of stuff. We can. Oh God, that's a whole
We do
show.
not need to know. There does not need
That's
to
what
be a
we'll do
whole
is the
show about
night.
that.
Yes, when Kim comes up, we're gonna have this.
Yo,
We're gonna have Kim on, and
Dude,
we're gonna
do
talk
not
90210.
belittle a woman by saying, "Hey, we finally got a girl on our show. Let's talk
No,
about 90210."
it's because I know
Come
Kim
on.
liked 90210, and I
That
don't know
doesn't
anybody else.
matter.
Oh,
That
you know what?
doesn't
I know who I'll
matter.
bring on. I'm gonna get fucking Jen on this bitch
See,
because she
I
moved to
will allow
Texas,
that.
and
She's in
she'll fucking
Texas right
zoom.
now?
She's moved to Texas.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck me. She does not belong there. That's not good for anybody.
there's a lot of Californians going to Texas or like
Because they're going to
to
Austin. They don't, yeah.
uh,
Austin and Houston to a degree, but
There's a conservative exodus.
thank you.
yeah.
There is a conservative exodus. As a matter of fact, fucking Andy made a post about California kind of losing its mind because of something about utensils or something. And then
Mhm.
there's a whole fucking like sea of youth. It's just going crazy. And these are all people who are definitely like,
Okay, but
yeah, they're really
this is but okay. No, we're gonna turn the show into that for a minute because we're gonna find that fucking post because I had a definite thought about that post,
Jen
and
is
I
not
feel bad
somebody
that
I would think of as a conservative.
no. Well, part of that though is because I'm guessing this, and I haven't talked to Jen about this, so we're just supposing here. I know her dad passed away. Her mom moved to Texas because I believe her sister already lived there, so I think like the family's kind of moving that way. in that direction. But yeah,
There's nothing wrong with being right. I'm just pointing it out, just for the record, in case anyone's watching. So,
wait, did you say right or white?
You,
fuck you. I said right.
I was like,
dude.
okay.
That's funny. I actually heard white.
You
okay,
did?
so
Dude?
it's just the way you said it. Yeah, I was.
Man,
I was like, good lord.
Right. R-I, right wing, whatever.
Right.
Like, whatever. Like, just
okay.
Have your fucking opinion.
This is. I love Andy, and I wish he was here to defend it, but I'm sorry because we brought this up. This is the post, and I love him to death. And again, I feel so bad doing this because he's not here, but he can rebut when he gets here. But this is like first world problems at their best. I think California is starting to go a little crazy. Now we can't have single-use utensils or condiments unless you ask for them at restaurants, but single-use disposable masks are encouraged. Okay, I could go on and read the rest of it. Andy, numbnuts. The single-use mask is because you use it and you fucking throw it away because it's full of your germs. Is it really that big an inconvenience to have to ask for silverware on to-go food? Like,
I just eat with my hands. Spaghetti, I don't give a shit.
But dude, that was like a blockbuster post. Like they got mad responses, man. And I was just like, okay. Like I legitimately was like, okay. Like I just kind of knew where you were based on how you responded. That's why I love social media, because it just kind of like
it can be very eye-opening. Yeah.
Yes.
It can be very eye-opening.
3 minutes on the clock, if you would, sir.
It's ready, man.
If you could meet any movie star, who would it be?
That's a good question.
This is going to create a whole bunch of dead air. Just so you know.
Great question. I'm just looking at this right now. It is a great question. Because, I mean, how do you, like, I don't even know where I'd want to begin with that, trying to figure that out. Like,
well, because are you talking about somebody that is famous? Are you talking about somebody that's worked with a lot of famous people? You know, like what is it that you're interested in finding out?
It just says movie star. You know, so
right,
I mean,
but like again, like you could talk to Tom Cruise because the dude has made so many blockbuster movies. The dude is we talked about it last week.
He's a movie star. He's a quintessential
movie star.
Yeah.
But like, could you pick a movie star that maybe is like Robert Redford? Sure. You know, or Brad Pitt, who is a different kind of movie star. Like, I don't know.
No, yeah, here, we'll expand it. You can, if you could meet any movie star, living or dead, who would it be? And see,
I don't want to meet a dead person. That's just gross.
Well, okay, they'd be alive again. It'd be some Harry Potter shit, like Resurrection Stone. We turn it over 3 times, boom.
That's not a Resurrection Stone. It doesn't.
I know. Don't it?
Suck.
So yeah.
I'll go on as thinking. For me, it would be Denzel Washington. I think I'd have a very interesting conversation with him based on the roles he's done. I think he's a pretty wise dude in general. So I would.
Okay.
I would want to meet him.
Okay.
Who was it?
You know what? Stop the timer.
Denzel.
Oh, did I give you Denzel? Yeah, Denzel would be dope. Why am I stopping the timer? What are you doing?
Reset the timer.
Why?
Because I'm making up my own question on this because I think this is way too specific.
I can't believe
this will be a good one.
Be creative. This is going to go downhill real fast. What celebrity do you want to taste their shoes? Go.
You can make a dinner party with movie stars with up to 5 people. Who are you inviting to dinner? Movie stars, not famous people. Like you know, we can't go like just movie stars, like Hollywood now or that, you know, whatever. Whoever it is.
Denzel, Patrick Stewart. And I gotta think about the other 3.
I would add Ian McKellen into that because number one, Ian McKellen's super interesting, but also I would love to just watch McKellen
Patrick Stewart,
Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
Yeah. Denzel for sure. Like I think he's a deep dude.
But see, this now this is, and if I invite Denzel though, I also want to invite Spike because at some point in that night, I want to have the conversation about Malcolm X with the 2 of them. So I don't, but then like
Tom Hanks.
That would be a good one too. Tom Hanks would definitely be
Tom Hanks there. John Travolta just so I can ask him about Battlefield Earth or whatever the fuck that was. Be like,
Why,
why?
bro? Why? Why
Yeah,
were the
what?
Thetans fucking with you like that?
Yeah, that
Like,
was a dick move, bro.
it's a brilliant fucking book. Um, oh God, who else? There's the problem is there's so many fucking people. Like I would what's this bucket? My brain is flashing right now. He's the British talk show host. Um, Graham Norton. I would want like Graham Norton. I think would be a phenomenal guest. I think Zach Galifianakis would be very very interesting to to have at a dinner party.
I wonder if
RDJ
he'd
is
be
my third.
too scatterbrained. Galifianakis. I love him, but I wonder if he would be like a hard person to sit down and have like a dinner with.
He would, but to see then, I mean, if we expand it and go living or dead, I mean, Robin Williams is the
Oh,
guest of honor.
absolutely, absolutely, and you would expect that to go like be very confusing.
Yes.
You know, like he's a little all over the place. I'm trying to go back into the dead guy box here and see if there's somebody else that would be cool from the past.
Oh God, I mean, Steven Spielberg, Francis Ford Coppola, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, like
Steve Martin,
oh fuck yes. Ah,
Mel Brooks. I think we've gone way past 5.
I'd also like to. I'd also like Carl Weathers. Because I'd love some Rocky insight from a completely different scope than ever gets talked to.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right,
would.
so I have 4 now. I'm looking for a woman though. Carrie Fisher
good point.
popped up, but I was like, no, I want some who, because I actually
Jennifer
like
Connelly.
Sly, RDJ, Patrick, Denzel. I want a woman, and maybe it's Angela Bassett. I don't know, but I'm just trying to think. It's really.
I never would have thought this before, but I think Angelina Jolie would actually be really cool. Like for a long time when I was young, I thought she was a little too crazy. I'm always the guy that doesn't fall for the big actress when everybody else does. Like I thought she was overrated for a long time, although I do remember the poster for Mr. and Mrs. Smith and being like,
oh, son.
Okay, she's hot there.
Yeah,
but
I loved her. See, go back though. I loved her in Hackers. I loved her there, and then to see her in other stuff like Hackers, she was right up there. I love that haircut though. I dig short
acid
hair.
Fucking burn, dude.
Yes. Zero
but,
cool. Fuck. That's a movie for another night that we can talk about. Because that's a
cult classic.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Johnny Lee Miller.
I love Johnny Lee Miller. Plunkett and McLean, if you haven't seen that, love that movie.
Elementary. If you've never watched that show,
I've always meant to watch it. I have never. Yeah, I need to watch it. I have meant to many times.
I absolutely loved the Bender Flump Cumberclipped fucking BBC.
Yeah, that was
Sherlock. It was
show.
Amazing, but for a serialized, network show depiction of Sherlock Holmes that they've modernized and addressed the whole Sherlock Holmes cocaine thing. He was a heroin addict. Like he's fighting his sobriety throughout the entire show. And it's done. Johnny Lee Miller is amazing. Why Lucy Liu is fucking amazing in that show.
The show House was Sherlock retelling.
Yeah.
It was a medical drama designed to be. It was Sherlock Holmes, but as a medical doctor instead of a detective. Which is why he's struggled with addiction and all that, and he had his best friend that he worked with, and
God, there's so many. I mean, fuck. Kate, what's her bucket that just left Saturday Night Live?
McKinnon.
Yeah, Kate McKinnon. I would love Kate McKinnon.
Uma Thurman and Scarlett Johansson popped up in my head, but keep going.
Maybe ScarJo. Uma, no, you know what, Uma, because I'd love some conversations about Quentin. Oh Christ, Quentin Tarantino. Leah, dude, I can't. I know I posed the question, but that's an impossible. 5.
Yeah, we have 78 people now for our 5-person.
Well, that's
dinner.
okay. That's a show that I want to come out on streaming so bad. You can find one episode and it's a janky one. Jon Favreau actually already did this. It was called Dinner for Friends, and it was.
I have heard of that.
And it's cool. I've only been able to catch and find a few episodes, but he always had this wonderful mix of characters and some surprising gets that he got there too were really impressive. But he was really fun in kind of moderating the conversation. He had Vince Vaughn just being Vince Vaughn. It was one of those great like behind the scenes storytelling, like it was just a really it was a good show, and you can't stream it anywhere yet. It's not available. Like I can't find it anywhere.
That was an awesome question, dude.
Um,
And it wasn't even a card. You can't with it. So props, dude.
well, I tell you what, we got a couple more minutes here. Let's do this. Let's set a 5-minute timer. And we are going to try. This is the other way I thought about playing this. Oh, yeah, no, here we go. The 5-minute timer for this one. We're going to try and get through as many of these cards as we can. Okay. In this 5-minute time period. The category, if you will, is called superheroes. I flipped through a few of these, so there are mention of some mainstream superheroes, but a lot of it is just superhero kind of powers kind of thing. So, all right, if you're ready with your
tell me when, man, I can hit the button.
And begin. Would you rather be a hero or a villain, and why?
A hero, dude. Be a hero. Yeah, because I'm just not a dick. I mean, I am a dick, but not to like people. I only want to hurt their feelings, not their money.
And villains eventually get beaten, so fuck that. I want to be a hero, so
I would be a villain because people remember them more than the hero when time goes by.
That's
would you rather be part of a super team or go solo?
Solo. I don't like people very much.
Ironically, I'd rather be part of a team because that way there's more cannon fodder. So like there's less chance of me dying because someone else on my team can die, take the hit. So
Andrew's correct. Team's the only way to go. When was the last time you posed like a superhero?
Define pose like a superhero.
I mean, in a Speedo, because I do that all the time in front of the mirror. But
doesn't matter. I fell down the stairs and dropped in that that Black Widow poser pose this morning.
Yeah.
Superhero by default. It was very good. Do you prefer stories set in the real world or in made-up worlds?
Real world.
Made-up world.
You're both wrong. I like a combination of both, real world and alternate history. What superhero villain would you most like to play in a movie?
Superhero villain?
Superhero or villain would you most like to play in a movie?
Yeah, I want to be
Magneto.
Superman, dude. I want to be Superman. Just let me be Superman.
Superman? I like that. Magneto?
Yeah.
I said superhero or villain.
Yeah, superhero or villain, yeah.
Oh, my bad. I said villain. Okay. Superhero.
Or villain.
Yeah, you
said good. Magneto.
If you said Magneto, I'll keep my answer.
Magneto's dope, and he's a little questionable anyways. He does the good guy stuff on his own.
Yeah.
I would love to play Constantine. What was your favorite superhero toy growing up?
Voltron.
Dude,
I had the die cast.
Yes,
so did I.
The Matchbox.
That's three of us that had.
I bought the Trendmasters one from Steve Begornia, if you remember him.
Yeah.
At Toys R Us in 2007, it was a Trendmasters version because the Matchbox one from the 80s was just too expensive. So
yeah, it was super expensive, and for the time, it was like $80 back then,
correct.
Which was a shit ton of money.
Correct.
So I had grandfather, my maternal grandfather. I actually had the Japanese import that we got at a, yes, I had a Go Lion.
That's amazing.
It was the diecast. It was essentially what became the Matchbox one, but it all Japanese writing on the thing. Like it was in.
I kind of hate you, Pete. Thank you.
I already did.
What is the best superhero logo? I got to be honest with you. I have a feeling this is all going to wind up being in the DC realm because if you really think about it, most of the Marvel characters really don't have a logo per se, or didn't until now. Like the
Batman's logo.
I was gonna. I know the S is iconic, but that bat, that symbol, even in its different many iterations, looks cool each time you see it. The S has always looked a little stupid to me. I don't know.
Yeah, they tweaked it and all that. Like, but yeah, I like Batman's logo better. It's just it's been cool to
I
me.
like Superman. I do, especially if it's black and silver, like kind of like the logo that was on the box cover for the movie, like the '78
Yeah,
film. I like that chrome looking one.
I
Yeah,
like that. All right. If you could be any supervillain for a day, who would it be?
we already said Magneto, so um,
Super
yeah, fuck
villain
it,
for a
Magneto.
day.
I don't care. I want to fly and control metal.
Yeah,
But
like I want to say like Lex Luthor, but what do you
I'm
fucking
gonna
get
go
out of
Lex
it? But you
Luthor.
don't get anything out of being Lex Luthor for a day. Like, what the fuck do you get out of that? That's lame.
Oh no! If I was Lex Luthor for a day, I'd just go spend all his money. Fucking with Superman.
But then when you're done spending his money after a day, you don't have
It's
anything.
gone.
Good point.
Yeah.
Would you rather be friends with a superhero or with their secret identity?
I mean, okay, so if you're
Identity.
friends, yeah, I'd say the secret identity, but I mean, if you're friends with the hero, then you're dope, dude. Like everybody's like, oh, you know, Superman, you're rad. But I'd be like, man, Clark Kent's pretty cool. He's a chill dude, you know. Like, plus, like Batman, I don't want to be friends with either one of them.
Not to mention, you might get killed. I'm good, dude. I don't want
That's
to be
true.
friends with a superhero.
That's true.
You're a target now.
What hero do you want in a life or death situation? 13
Do I
seconds left.
want this? Is Superman. You can't fucking come on, dude. The guy can fly. He's bulletproof. He can fucking he can fly, like he can breathe in outer space. There's even a comic where he sneezes and blows up a solar system. Like that guy's a badass.
Time is up, but you're wrong. It is Deadpool because he would have you laughing even into the great oblivion when you go
That's
to
not
dust.
a thing that I want to do.
Not to mention, motherfuckers totally died in the second one. Like,
I know.
So I'm good. Nope.
So which way did you guys like more? Did you like that 3-minute kind of thing? Did you like that 5-minute do as many as we can?
It
kind of
really
thing?
depends on what you're trying to get out of it. So, like the debate that comes out of doing the slower one is interesting. Like, because we definitely like we had tangents. They were shorter tangents, but they were tangents and all that. But the rapid fire was good to just barf out information and move on. So
I think that also the rapid fire one allows like more kind of like we all get a chance to talk, kind of like, whereas the debate one, I mean, they both, yeah, I think I like them both. You know, maybe I'm being lame, but like I think that it's good to just mix it up. You know, I think they both have their benefits for sure. But I like the structure. The 3-minute thing is great.
Yeah. Like I said, I see the benefits, but it's almost like you look at it as 2 rounds of a game show. You know, you do you know a chunk of the 3-minute ones, and then you do rapid fire for like round 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not quite a game show because it's not what we're looking for, but
Yeah.
no.
Here's one for you. So, what is your favorite villain's lair? I'm sorry, I'm going with the fucking Hall of Doom for the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, I mean that's actually the only villain's lair I could think of, other than Doctor Evil's lair, which is kind of dope. I mean, if I'm in a volcano,
The Joker always had some cool. I mean, the Joker's always had some cool ones. Anything like there's one like where he has a throne set on a whole bunch of like cupid baby dolls. It looks really eerie and disturbing and fucking killing joke. Like that one's a little rough. Evil lair. I know. Actually, think about it. I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I think about that one.
Oh yeah, there's some good ones. Yeah. All right. Yeah, this could be fun. So we have been, or at least I have been, always kind of trying to find a way to end the show in a different way. I do like the way we talk each other out. It's kind of fun, but I came up with an idea in the process of getting an idea, and the other idea is going to be, hopefully next episode we'll be able to do it the way I want. But I got to figure out how to make it work, or if it'll just work one way. But we're going to bring ourselves back to elementary school. This is going to seem, I don't know, this might not work out well. We're going to find out. But here it is. We're going to go old school, and we're going to close tonight with a little bit of Mad Lib. We're going to do some Mad Libs, like we were back in the 5th grade again.
Every word is penis.
Exactly. What I want to turn this into, and what I started just because we're talking about his penis. What we were talking about it tonight a little bit is I want to grab scripts of famous scenes and turn those into Mad Libs, and then have us read them out with the new Mad Lib. Read the parts like that. Is that okay? Anyway, so let's see here. If anyone doesn't know what a Mad Lib is, I'm sorry for your childhood.
Yeah, you're an asshole.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait,
you don't know what a Mad Lib is?
Yes, you do. You just don't know.
Probably.
Okay.
What the fuck is a Mad Lib?
So a Mad Lib was this thing. You used to buy them at like the Scholastic book fairs, or you could get them at some bookstores. And it's just like this goofy paragraph on some subject. Like the one we're looking at is called, I'm not going to tell you because that's part of the fun of it. And what they do is throughout the passage, they take out words and just put adjective or verb or noun or a silly word, a place, a girl's name. And you give one of these, and then it's finding out what silly passage has become from the words you've given it.
Okay, so you can just alter the meaning based
The fuck
on...
was wrong with the Canadian elementary school education system, Andrew?
I don't know, man. But
they were too busy teaching each other to be kind instead of teaching people to put the word anus in the middle of a sentence that fucking nobody wanted.
Exactly.
The fun thing,
kind, and we were be kind. Rewind.
Well, which is actually a very interesting movie if you've never seen it. Have you guys even heard of that movie?
Yes, that's the one with Robin Williams, right?
With who?
Is that Robin Williams or no?
No, Be Kind, Rewind with Jack Black and Mos Def.
Oh, my bad. No.
And Danny Glover's in it. It's the idea, these two nuts like want to make a film, and I think it's Jack Black. Anyway, their grandfather owns a video store. The video store, they accidentally somehow erase all the movies in the video store with a magnetic pulse.
Ouch.
And so they take all the movies and they remake them there in the neighborhood with like super low tech special effects. It's a funny, interesting, it's an out there kind of movie. Anyway, so I'm going to ask you for some types of words and things here, and you're going to give them to me, and then we're going to read a funny passage.
Got it.
So, I'll just, since Andrew, since this is your first Mad Lib, you're popping your mad cherry. You can go first. Give me an adjective.
Furry.
All right. Kevin, if you would give me a noun.
Table.
Andrew, a plural noun.
Fuck it. Boobs.
Nice way to take this down the road.
See, because you didn't get to do Mad Libs as a child. Kevin's like table. When we were doing Mad Libs in like the 5th grade, that would have been like dick, vagina. Adjective: moist, wet.
Gross, dude.
Yeah, well, it's the adjective to you because he gave us boobs for the plural noun. So.
Oh, I get the adjective?
Yeah.
Sweaty.
All right. And then Andrew, another adjective.
Rigid.
Kevin, I need a verb ending in ing.
Spanking. Do it.
Andrew, I need another verb ending in ing. Filleting.
I'll just say I'll say tasting. We'll keep it a little. We're gonna reel it back a bit.
You think you are. And then adjective.
That's Kevin.
An adjective. Beefy.
What was that?
Beefy.
Beefy.
Oh, okay.
And then Andrew, an adjective to you.
Rosy.
Rosy. And then Kevin, a noun to you.
Pencil.
Andrew, a type of food, plural, to you.
Um, type of food.
Haggises.
Let's go with sausages.
Kevin, part of the body, plural.
Ankles. Trying to keep it clean, man.
Adjective. Andrew, to you.
Go with tumescent.
For those listening at home that don't have a 700 verbal SAT vocabulary, that's another word for boner. Vehicle. To Kevin.
Airplane.
All right. And Andrew, a type of food, plural.
Can I say carbs?
Sure.
Macro, but yeah.
That's fine. And Kevin,
And tumescent means swollen. Doesn't necessarily mean boner. Keep going.
If you can find a word, if you can Google a sentence anywhere that uses tumescent and it has nothing to do with an erection, I will Venmo you $20.
I'm not even gonna try.
Kevin, a type of food, plural.
Cucumbers.
Nice.
Something alive, plural. Stepsisters.
Cows.
And Kevin, something alive, plural to you.
Mice.
Just said gerbils. Sorry.
Easy, Tiger. Let me work up to
it. And Andrew, it's an adverb to you.
Oh man. I was hoping you wouldn't say something that I wasn't necessarily sure what's an example of that.
An adverb is a word that modifies a verb, like quickly or tumescently.
Got it. Gingerly.
Ooh.
Sounds so sweet.
And Kevin, to close it out for us, we need a noun.
Potato.
Nice.
All
I
right.
got to hear this shit.
So
this is why we need Jen on the show. She needs to read this shit.
Oh my God, yes. In her
do you remember when she did
the 50 Shades?
I've got it. No. She read Goodnight Moon.
Yeah. Oh.
In her phone sex voice. Hilarious.
You and I, we have to compare which episodes the two of us have of that.
I think I have everything. I think I got everything from Opie.
Okay, I may need to get some stuff from you because I have anyway. All right, so this passage from the good people at Mad Libs is entitled Bears. If you go to some furry place like Yellowstone National Table, you must know how to deal with wild animals such as bears and wolves and boobs. The most important of these is the bear. There are 3 kinds of bears at Yellowstone: the grizzly bear, the sweaty bear, and the rigid bear.
Yeah.
Bears spend
also in
most
the Castro.
Of their, right?
Yes.
The tumescent bear. It's rigid. Bears spend most of their time spanking or tasting. They look very beefy, but if you make them rosy, they might bite your pencil. Bears will come up to your car and beg for some sausages. They will stand on their hind legs and clap their ankles together and pretend to be tumescent.
I wish I had said cheeks.
But do not get out of your airplane or offer the bear carbs or cucumbers.
Nice.
This same advice applies to other wild creatures such as cows and mice. Remember all these rules, and you will spend your vacation gingerly and not get eaten by a potato.
Nice. That was really fun. I never did this as a kid. I was deprived.
That's awesome. We just enlightened Andrew.
I can't. Wow, that's. I mean,
Yeah.
I fucking feel like LeVar Burton over here, dude.
Reading Rainbow.
You are
baby.
not like LeVar Burton.
I know, but I just
He's
should
amazing, and you're Pete.
I know, dude. Did you see that article where he kind of talked about
Yeah.
how he was kind of like that? He was very like it bummed him out, which
I
don't
didn't
know.
see any of those, but like for me, he was always the guy that should have taken that over.
Fucking A.
Yeah,
I don't understand why there was even a question.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't just a fan demand thing. Like he is perfect for it. He has that same energy that Trebek has, but his own personality. And why in the fuck, with all these shows getting remade and things for kids, why has Reading Rainbow not been revived to some degree?
Well, you know what? I think it's only a matter of time. Seriously. It's only a matter of time.
I saw butterfly in the sky.
My cousin actually would be like, butterfly in the sky. I shot it in the eye. I thought it was very funny. Anyway, he was a kid though. Very random.
Well, this has been a fun evening, fellas. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being able to gush about Stranger Things because again, we literally scratched the surface.
Yeah. I feel like before you need to get caught up before the second half of season 4 drops because it's good. It's a really, really good show, especially if you grew up. Didn't we talk about Voyagers and shit like that from the 80s? The vibe, 80s kids, the Goonies, again, all that shit, and then 80s horror mixed in.
Yeah, like I said, this is one that I knew. Like I said, I'm 3 episodes in, and I knew from the jump just the entire vibe of the whole thing and the little attitude of the kids and just the feel of it. But then with everything with 11 in the fucking diner and all that, like I was like, okay, I'm on board with this show, right? Like I'm here, we're cool. It's because I said I was gonna watch it with my kids. We've just been holding off. So I think, like I said, I think we're gonna have some time coming up here. We'll make it a thing, and we'll get through Stranger Things so that we can have a very good discussion about that in the future. Oh, I didn't need to do that, but I did. I'm sorry. That was kind of gross.
What's satisfying?
It was some beautiful ASMR for some people out there. I wonder if there are people that are just into like burps over and over. Like if
there's somebody that's into everything.
Agreed.
Like at the end of the day, there's somebody that's into every weird fucking thing out there.
Yeah, you're right. There's an ass for every seat.
Yeah.
That is like one of the weirder ones that I've come across in my random searches for things. No, it's just as weird. Have you ever heard of like guys liking girls being giants?
Yes,
like this whole giant. You jumped on that one way too quick, homie. I think we were about to find something out about Andrew. He's about to go, oh my god, there's more of my brothers right here.
No, but like seriously, I've definitely seen that shit, and it's actually the funniest part is like they'll even start it with like their normal, and then they'll actually start like getting bigger. There were movies like the Attack of the 50-Foot Women, like in the 50s or whatever. So it's like it's not like a totally new thing, but I just had to like, anyways, I'm just a very like curious individual. I like to know, but I want to be omniscient. Okay, there's not much I don't know except for Mad Libs.
No, yeah. It's just
and
it's
Better Off Dead.
in the world of fetishes, it's just a very interesting like kind of thing that someone would kind of focus on to me or find like, if you will, be turned on by. Like I get if you will, the psychology behind some other fetishes that people have with like feet. What
is the psychology behind feet?
I don't get anything behind feet. Gross.
Oh, people just like feet. No, I mean, or stuff. No, or into more some kink, if you will, like some of the bondage stuff, some of the isolation. Like I get how a lot of that works, or the baby stuff, like people who just want to regress, like the guys who like to dress up like babies.
Yeah, I guess I understand the psychology of that a little bit, but I also think that it's one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen in my life.
It is. It is of all the things. It is one of the strange. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum, but it's that one's way on the out. That one's way on the fucking like.
I don't get the cutting shit. That's what I don't get. Like the whole like blood play. Have you heard of that? We're really going there, but like that, I don't get.
Yeah. Well, no, but that's with the giant. Like, how do you how do you find that out about yourself?
I guess
Like
by
like you fall down one day, you're staring up at like some woman at a private dam, and you're like, oh my god, I want her to stomp on me as she takes out the city. Like, I don't. It's just a very interesting like.
read.
Yeah, that's just a very strange.
I'm glad we finished with this. I like how we finished
Stranger
strong.
Things. We're talking about Stranger Things, and we've got Strange.
I mean, we went a little weird with Mad Libs to finish it, and then we went into fucking giant porn.
Well,
so,
ask for every seat. That's what started this.
The Mad Lib was supposed to finish it. I think going forward, if I can accomplish what I want to with like the script Mad Lib, that might actually wind up playing itself out a little better than this did. But that's we got to introduce the Andrew to Mad Libs, which is kind of fun.
Yeah. Even if we never do another one, that was worth it.
Yeah. And it's oh my god, it's like documented on film. And audio, your first Mad Lib ever. I don't know if that's ever been captured. We need to call the Guinness people.
I don't think we do.
But I think that has to be incorporated in the time. Anyway, we can talk about that off it. Ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe. We're a podcast. Pop culture.